Welcome back to the Nintendo Prime Podcast, episode, I think 57. I think I got the number right. I don't know. I didn't double check. So I'm presuming I'm wearing an old school podcast shirt. You can't even buy this anymore. So going a little retrograde with our original Nintendo Prime Podcast. Yeah. This isn't even the OG of the OG. We have some handmade ones in the back as well. I might bust out one of these podcasts. But I wanted to go retro today just because it feels like one of those days. I've seen better days, I suppose. How you guys doing? I am your host, as always, Nathaniel Ruffle Janc from the Nintendo Prime YouTube channel. To my left, your guys' middle is Mr. Eric Moore.
Hello, everybody.
And then the stylish one, the one and only, Mike Odyssey, a.k.a. I know it still says Nintendo Academy down there. I will get it changed eventually. But Nintendo Academy is how you find his channel, I guess, for now. Mike Odyssey still isn't popping up in searches for me, but it'll get there. It'll be there.
What's going on?
How's it going on? Yeah, how you doing, Mike?
Doing good. We're completely rebranding this Saturday live.
There you go.
Oh, there
we go. So next week I will for sure make sure that it says the right thing.
Yeah. So we're good. All good, man. All good. Check. I just sent you a little gifty in the Discord.
Oh no, I don't know if a gift.
Oh boy,
I'm scared of gifts. Sometimes they're not gifts I want. Oh, okay. It is a gift I want.
It is a gift you want.
Oh my gosh. You did forget one part, but that's okay. I forgive you. I forgive you.
What
the little faded thing behind the banter on my thing?
Okay, yeah.
That's easy. That's easy to toss in. Anyways, how's it going, buddy? You having a good week? Are we?
You.
You. I'm talking about you.
Oh, I thought you were talking Eric.
No. I'm talking about you.
Yeah, having a good week, man. Having a good week. Installed the pool in the backyard.
Nice.
One of those above ground pools. It's 48 inches. And it's 15 to 16 feet. So
okay. Well, when you said 48 inches, I thought we were just talking about a cup. I'm like, I don't know how you're gonna jump in that, but I know what you mean. 48 inches deep. That's what you mean. That's nice.
Yeah. So it's a pretty comfortable pool to be in. So it's really hot in here. It's like 98 degrees. So. Yeah, it's not the song, not the music, not the band. It's just the heat.
Just the heat. Pure heat. So, guys, we're back. We're going to have a pretty good show here. We got some interesting topics. First one is going to be about the Splatoon 3 Switch OLED, which will also be sort of a combo topic because we'll also talk about some new stuff that, because of that being announced, sort of hinted towards maybe a different Switch at some later date. I don't have my own sources. This is just the internet and the things that are on the internet, which, you know what to say. Believe everything you read on the internet, right? Like, and then our next topic after that, actually, I don't have the topic list loaded myself. The next topic after that, we're going to be talking about what our dream Donkey Kong game could be, because there was some news over the week. They upgraded the what is it? The patent or the trademark? The trademark for Donkey Kong got updated. So they definitely added some lines to it that infer that, hey, this is the first indication from Nintendo that I might actually be working on a Donkey Kong game for Switch. So what sort of game would we want out of this? So we'll talk about that. And then our third topic, which is currently blank, was sort of decided while I was reading the chat. Well, I guess we'll have an open forum conversation with my panel of guests about clickbait and other things like that. But we'll worry about that later, because who knows? Maybe this podcast is so fire. We're like 2 hours in and I'm like, nah, we're done. We didn't even get past banter. We didn't even get past the beginning.
Didn't get past banter.
Yeah, so who knows? Well, we start off our podcast this week the same way we do every week. And that is, hey, what the hell have we been playing lately? So let me kick this to Eric. What have you been playing in the last week? Nothing.
Okay,
that was quick. Mike, what have you been playing? I already knew by the look on your face what the answer was.
Yeah.
Babyface Eric here, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Looking young and fresh.
Yeah, right.
Mike, what do you got going on for you, bud?
No, man. I don't think I played anything this week.
There we go.
I've been working in the yard. This week was family week.
A video game podcast where nobody played games, because I played a single match of Mario Strikers. So there you go. That is our entire gameplay this week.
I don't even have it yet. I don't even have Mario Strikers yet. I'm still not.
You don't even have it yet.
Not yet. I got that little demo thingy. I'm not sure if it still works, but that's it.
That's pretty funny. So let's you know what? I'm gonna make a pivot here. The chat is very, very seemingly stuck. For those who don't know, we do our podcast live, so sometimes a little bit of the influence will come from the chat into the ebb and flow of the podcast. We're gonna try to do a swing and just talk about, I guess, the clickbait stuff first. And then we'll get into the actual gaming topics. Because just a shout out to some people in the chat that are consistently bringing this stuff up, like all things Mario. There's also Pikachu, like, questioning if I copied Spawn Wave's title. Apparently, I don't know what his title was. I didn't even see his video today. Did he make a video today? I mean, I know he has News Wave, but I didn't watch it, so I don't know what is his title. What is Spawn Wave's video title? Hold on. I have this fancy thing I can do this week, guys. Hold on. Hold on. I got this fancy thing I can do. You guys ready? Ready to have your minds blown? Hold on. You ready? Ready? Here we go.
Ready.
Oh, look at this. Oh, I can show you guys stuff from my laptop now, and all three of us are on screen. It's almost as if I'm a semi-professional outfit here. So I'm looking at this one. So Nintendo did it again, I guess. Okay. On his phone.
Hey, hold on. Why am I at the bottom? I'm like, Eric is a sandwich. Never mind. I'm good.
Yeah, we're still good. Eric's still the meat.
Sandwich.
He's still the meat.
I'm still in the middle.
Yeah, we still made sure he's the meat. We're the bun. Anyways, Nintendo did it again, but okay, that's not the same as mine. Titles. The top one, maybe? What did he say? Nintendo Switch hardware speculation ramps up. Okay, that's about yesterday's news.
Ramp up.
That's yesterday. So yeah, those are the two videos he did today. So I gotta say, I just gotta be honest. I'm not seeing any title copying, but hey, you know what? People are gonna say what they're gonna say because they just think things sound similar, you know?
I wonder what the reason behind the comment is. Like, what are they currently thinking that they feel the need to, even before they even confirm? You know what? It looks like the title. Let me go confirm just in case. But no, before even confirming anything, they just want to blurp it out. You know, like if. It's like if somebody's going to beat them to it, like, no, wait. This looks like Spawn Wave's title. Let me go say it before somebody else beats me to it. You know, I'm like, why would you want to bring that? I don't get it. Yeah, why bring it out?
And it wasn't even. Now, if you want to say that my thumbnails on my last two Prime News videos look like Spawn Waves, abso-freaking-lutely they do. I know they do. I know those are blatant rip-off thumbnails, at least for the style of the thumbnail. Technically, it's a style of thumbnail I was doing years ago before Spawn Wave ever did it. But the problem is that if you guys have been at my live streams, you would kind of know the ironic reason that I'm doing thumbnails like that, signifying a Prime News episode from everything else. I was simplifying my thumbnails, and it felt like an easy way to signify this is a certain type of content. And my other videos are like single topic. So like this is a single topic video. And if you see me with the two things to my left and right, that's a Prime News episode. I get it. It's not very unique in comparison to Spawn Wave. And maybe over time I come up with a better simplified way.
You got to go above and below you.
Instead of left and right. Yes. So I got to turn. I got to be sideways.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. I got to turn sideways and go above top to bottom. That's how we're gonna do. I don't know. Guys, I'm playing around.
Alfred Hitchcock like silhouette.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like the thumbnail style that Spawn Wave does on his News Wave isn't even new to him. There's a billion YouTube channels that do that exact same thumbnail style. So it is what it is, folks. I mean, I really don't care.
Only so many ways you can orient pictures on a little tiny thing that
plus people
won't look like other people.
I mean, and on top of that, I'm not very good at thumbnails. This has been well documented on my channel over the years. So anytime I have a decent looking thumbnail, it's usually made by somebody else. But you know what's funny with the me in the middle, two images to the right and left, anyone can do it. As long as you can actually crop yourself out of like a selfie photo or something, anyone can do it. And ironically, when I do put my face, look, my face is in the one today. My face was in the Prime News episode yesterday. And those are my two least viewed videos. So my face is not very attractive to views. So that's okay. That being said,
No, that's not it.
That's not the only stuff being talked about in the chat, of course. I think Ed, did you end up blocking him? Blocking All Things Mario? I hope you didn't. I actually wanted to address some of the things that he said. So we have a guy, he said he's going to dip out, though, because I don't want to hurt his feelings. You know what's funny about the All Things Mario? And people like him, because all YouTube channels have their critics. Because he talks about clickbait, and I want to get to some of the comments he made, is every time I'm about to address him, he leaves.
Right. Yeah.
And this is what happens with a lot of critics, is they don't want to actually have a conversation. They just want to come out, yell, complain, talk about how bad you are, and not actually let the person defend themselves to their face. So then they can come back in a future stream, in a future video, and act like I never addressed anything and just say the same shit all over again. As an example, he brought up the fact that I made a clickbait video called Clickbait. What was it? Let me find that comment where they said, imagine making a video about clickbait and saying you won't do it anymore and blah, blah, and proceed to make more clickbait. One, that means he never watched my clickbait video. This is the fourth time someone mentioned that I said I wouldn't clickbait anymore. In that video, those words never left my mouth.
Yeah.
I never actually said I wouldn't clickbait. I actually explained that I disagree with most people's presumptions of what the clickbait is, while admitting there are times that I have clickbaited and that I would like to find ways to do it better. But I also explain why clickbait is a thing. So it's funny because I never actually ever said I'm never going to clickbait again. I just disagree with what a lot of people define clickbait is. There's basically two definitions of clickbait, folks, right? You have the raw dictionary definition, which everybody does because you want people to read. It's just making a headline or thumbnail that people want to click on. That's it. That's the actual dictionary definition of clickbait. It's just making something enticing to click on. But the Urban Dictionary version, the one that it's more
like a clickbait and switch.
Yeah, it's like a clickbait and switch, where the title and the thumbnail doesn't match the content. Okay, so you're being promised something that's not actually there. As an example, in this podcast thumbnail, if I had thrown in an image of Angelina Jolie, and not only is she not on the podcast, we don't even talk about her. That would be clickbait. I'm getting you to click thinking there's something related to Angelina Jolie. That's clickbait. Okay. Yes, you can also clickbait with titles in other ways. You could say, confirmed, Nintendo Switch Pro arriving this month. But then there's nothing confirmed in the video. Even though the topic's talked about, there's nothing confirmed. That would be clickbait. So what I find interesting is not that I don't skirt the line at times, because that's just welcome to social media. I am creating content around news that lots and lots and lots of other people are also doing. So because of that, you're in a sea of all these videos. What's going to make your video stand out among those? And some might go, well, make your video stand out as if you clickbaited less because everyone else is clickbaiting. And I understand that to a point.
Yes and no.
But those are the videos that appear ahead of mine and the ones that actually get the clicks.
And it seems like YouTube's algorithm favors clickbaity.
Well, social media in general favors it. I try really hard to do a couple of things with my videos. Number one, obviously create enticing content. I want the content of the video to be worth watching, worth listening to, worth discussing. And for the most part, people that actually watch my videos, I get mostly positive comments from people. They like the look of my videos. They like the sound of my videos. They like the news I'm covering. They like my opinions. They like a lot of different things about it. And then on top of that, and there's some that don't, I assume out there, but I don't really hear the criticism of the actual content. It's always criticism of the title and the thumbnails. And I just find it a little bit interesting thinking about the stuff, because this person in general, like All Things Mario, he was actually not upset about this particular point, the clickbait, upset because of the video I made yesterday where I talked about how Nintendo taking down a video on their YouTube channel in the past has been an indicator of something new hardware-wise being announced, whether it was a Switch Lite, whether it was Switch OLED in the past, or whatever. And I noted in that video, well, yes, I talked at length about how much it'd be cool if it was a Switch Pro. I also said it could be a Switch Lite OLED. We can't take all options. I literally said all options are on the table. Just because I didn't think of the option of Splatoon 3 OLED edition doesn't mean that I was dismissing that possibility. I literally said all options are on the table. So what happened? The trailer was taken down, and the very next day they announced a new themed piece of hardware.
I think you have to address something that All Things Mario just stated in the comment. He thinks that you timed him out. I think it's somebody else in the chat.
I didn't time him out.
One of them.
Yeah, so
I didn't time you out. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah,
there was no timeouts. One of the mods probably did it.
Yeah, it could have been a mod trying to protect the channel, but yeah, nobody timed you out. So
yeah, no. Nate didn't time you out. A mod might have because he's being a little rude, but
yeah,
it's funny. So you can call it what it is. I don't pay close enough attention to the chat when I'm on live streams. That's why I have moderators. Anyway, so I'll wait and see if he has anything else. Do you guys have any thoughts on the stuff that I said? I mean, let's start to Mike, because he's a fellow content creator. You know, he knows a bit more about this world than Eric does, who doesn't make videos. So what are your thoughts on this?
Well, the definition of clickbait is putting a title and a thumbnail that has nothing to do with what you're talking about in the video. Okay, that's one of them to me. And then the other one is basically lying on the thumbnail to get a view.
Yeah,
right?
I mentioned that in my clickbait video. Like when I've done this in the past, when I put like a new Switch UI in the thumbnail, but there's nothing in the video about it. Like that's totally clickbait.
So if you say new Switch hardware revealed, and then you're talking about the new Switch that was launched today with the Splatoon model, Splatoon edition, that is not a clickbait title. That is what happened. You're just not giving the entire news out so that people can watch the rest of the news on your video. So this clickbait word is being thrown out a lot out there, and I think people should try to educate themselves on what it really means without saying, oh, you clickbait or you copy this or this and that. Educate yourself on what clickbait means. Okay, because not everything is clickbait. There are enticing titles and enticing thumbnails, and there are clickbait titles and clickbait. Just because a thumbnail and a title made you click on the video, okay, doesn't mean it's a clickbait title or video. It's because it's enticing. It called your attention. It was a well-made thumbnail that made you want to click, which is what YouTube was trying to make us do so that we get more views, right? Clickbait is me saying Nintendo just confirmed the Nintendo Switch Pro, okay? And then when you click on my video, I just start talking about Nintendo Switch Pro, but in nowhere form do I talk about the title of the video, or I just give you my opinions, like, I think the Nintendo Switch Pro should come out next week, blah, 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 blippity blurb, and that's what clickbait is, and I think that a lot of people who are just throwing out names are kids. They're teenagers and they're kids who really can't grasp the understanding of what the word clickbait means. The definition of clickbait. Clickbait is not allowed on YouTube. It's not. Okay, but by the fact that you have a video and you click on it and it has to do with the topic and title of the video, and you happen to disagree with it, or you happen to not hear what you want to hear, doesn't make it clickbait. Because sometimes I can say I'm put a title on something, on balloons and unicorns. Okay, and there are colors of unicorns, but what happens if I don't mention your favorite color of unicorn? You're gonna get mad and call me clickbait? Clickbait? No, clickbait. You did not mention.
The only comment that I could argue makes a lot of sense is if you want to say that you're milking a topic. Sure, you can argue that. Continuing to talk about Switch Pro, that's not clickbait. That's doing what the algorithm actually rewards you for doing. And also, the funny thing is, when I bring up a topic once, like let's say I have a really cool idea about Breath of the Wild 2, and I'm really, or it's a rumor or something, and I think this is such a really cool idea, and I decide I want to bring it up on a video, then I want to bring it up on the podcast, then I want to bring it up again on another video, and then if I dream about it and have a completely different thought on it, I maybe want to make another video, But all those videos are doing really, really well and getting lots of views. I'll give you an example that isn't Switch Pro related. Everything around Super Mario 3D All-Stars back in September of 2020, I milked the shit out of Super Mario 3D All-Stars. I mean, there was like 3 different videos about how we really want Mario Galaxy 2 to be in the game, and how maybe there were some hints at it, both with Mario Galaxy 2 being in the actual game files in terms of music and all this sort of stuff. We made all these different videos hinting towards that. We made videos about the glitches. We made videos about all this different thing before the game came out, and all those videos were blowing up. Every single one of them got over 50,000 views, and I was milking the hell out of it, and I knew it. But that's different. That's not clickbait. That's just taking advantage of what's a really popular topic in the moment. And if you notice, when you go through my channel and you look at any video that has a thumbnail and or title that involves any sort of thing Switch Pro related, well, not all of them, but a majority of them, there are a lot of views on that video. The reason there's a lot of views on those videos, sometimes 7, 10, 15, 20,000, is because that topic is something that's really, really popular in the Nintendo community, because so many people want an upgraded Switch. And it's only getting even more popular with the Steam Deck out. So we're getting to this point where you can get upset over the milking because you're tired of seeing the same topics. And that's fine. I totally get that. That's totally fine. And I'm sure if you are tired of hearing about Switch Pro, following a bunch of Nintendo channels is going to be a little difficult. Because it's a popular topic. We all know it. And, you know, anything around it, we want a Switch Pro, so we're going to talk about it. It's just one of those unique situations where I think people are just tired of hearing about it. Some people are, and some people will never grow tired of it. And I'm one of those people that never grow tired of it, because one of my favorite things to do as a content creator is talk about the future, talk about the unknown. Talking about the known is great. But we all know it. We all have it. It's in our hands. It's tangible, right? We have Mario Strikers in our hands. We have Switch OLED in our hands. We will have the Splatoon 3 Switch OLED. We'll have Splatoon 3 in our hands and Xenoblade 3 in our hands. As soon as we have those in our hands, for me, it's not as enticing to keep talking about that stuff, because everybody has it. We can all formulate our own thoughts and opinions. And it doesn't mean you can't have some crazy theories, some Zelda theories in the next Zelda game. Like, you can have all this crazy stuff. But for me, I'm ready to move on. Okay, so what's next now? We got this. I'll play it. I'll do a stream or a video or a podcast talking about it. And I move on to, hey, all right, well, what's next on the slate? What do we got coming up in the future for Nintendo? And, you know, hardware is always something coming up in the future for Nintendo. We had a bunch of videos on the Switch Lite way back in the day. Notice we don't have any more videos on Switch Lite anymore because it got announced and came out. People were complaining back then. You're milking it. And then it came out. I don't know what's going to happen with Switch Pro. That's the truth. I've said this in many videos. I have zero sources on any of this stuff. So I don't know anything. I know as much as every person in this chat knows, and that's just stuff you read online.
Yeah.
But man, doesn't mean I don't like talking about it. Doesn't mean I don't find it exciting. Doesn't mean I don't enjoy the conversations. So my content's not going to be for everyone, and I think I'm okay with that. Let me just glance at all things. I just see what you said.
Here's the other thing too.
What he said here.
I have been here for a couple of things that he stopped in on, and I don't want to just attack him either, but it's she, whatever, all things Mario has been here for, and 90% of the comments that I've seen from all things Mario have been super negative, super like the hateful. Well, not necessarily hateful.
Hateful is a bit strong.
Yeah, hateful is a bit strong. Yes. It just massively disliking. It's like, if I disliked this a content creator this much, I wouldn't be watching their content. I would just go away, just ignore it. Yeah, you don't have to watch it.
Like,
you don't have to be
he says,
here.
like, the irony is that he gave his opinion on my channel and his vids and what he thought, and I got upset by it, but I'm not actually upset. That's the thing, and I'd never insulted you. Like you said, you insulted me. I didn't insult you. I disagreed with you. That's not insulting. That's giving my own opinions. Like, but that's what happens. People don't want to have conversations. Like, I'm still waiting for his response to the things I've actually stated here, and he hasn't said anything. He just
keeps repeating the same thing over and over.
Repeating his same rhetoric, and he's not actually responding and having a conversation. And like that's what I've said. It happens. You know, like now we just talking about the check and butter. Yeah, because you go to a YouTuber's live stream, a YouTuber's podcast, and you say a bunch of negative things about that YouTuber, which are entirely subjectively opinion based. Mm-hmm. Of course, the fans of that channel aren't going to be happy with what you're saying. Did you expect a positive response when you're talking negatively about something that's subjective? It's not like you're in here, oh my gosh, here's a link, here's direct proof. Nate is a wife beater. Like, you haven't, there's nothing, this is all subjective stuff.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Like, it's one thing if you come into the chat and you can like come up with something that actually is objectively a bad thing. But when it's a subjective opinion about something you don't enjoy, yeah, of course the audience that enjoys it isn't going to agree with you because they have a different opinion. So, like, getting upset at the audience because they don't agree with you, I mean, dude, people don't agree with me all the time. You know? If I spent my whole life just worried about people who didn't agree with me, I wouldn't have time to do anything else. So he said, so clickbait isn't starting off your video with a 2-minute intro saying, this is huge, this is massive, this is big, and it being nothing. But here's the thing. My video, when I started off, for starters, clickbait isn't, it has to do with the title and thumbnail. The content is what backs up the title and thumbnail. It doesn't matter if the content's 2 minutes in. It doesn't matter if the content's 11 minutes in. If the content's in there, then it wasn't clickbait. Okay? And when I started that video, stop what you're doing, what happened? What did I say? I'm guessing you didn't watch the entire video, because by the end of the video, I said, by the way, this could be anything. It could be a Switch OLED. It could be a Switch Lite, OLED Lite. It could be a Pro. I don't know what this is. I literally said, I don't know, but it's going to be something. And what happened? It was something. Factually, the trailer went down, and the next day, Nintendo announced a brand new piece of hardware in the Splatoon 3 Switch OLED edition. It factually was something. And that's like an undeniable truth. They took down a trailer for something, and the very next day they announced something else. Like, it happened. It happened.
Yesterday during the live stream, I was explaining that same exact train of thought. That, let me tell you something, guys in the chat and everybody who's listening. YouTubers may not always have it right, but they have something. Okay? Because And I made this example. There's a storm coming. There's a hurricane coming towards us, and this is not on the skit. Okay, this is a hurricane coming towards us, and every time there's a hurricane coming, what do you see in the sky? What happens? Like, what do you see that is custom to that tells you there's a storm coming? You see a whole bunch of flock of birds flying the opposite way, a lot, and they're not flying independently. They're flying together. They're flying all in one group, heading the same way. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and call us. We're a flock of birds. We know when to tell, when to smell when something is coming. And guess what? Mm-hmm. Some of us we go in deeper and say, you know what? I would love to see this happen. I would love to see this.
We speculate on possibilities. Yeah. And but it's not that we're going to go to the most exciting possibilities because that's what we would like it to be. You know.
The most exciting topic makes more viewers, and of course, the algorithm catches it and runs with it and then ignores everybody else. But we may not get it right, but we always get it. Okay. Whenever you see a lot of YouTubers talking about the same exact thing and saying something is coming, listen to them. Something is coming. They say Switch Pro. It might not be Switch Pro. Switch Lite might not be Switch Lite. Something is coming. Something is on the way, because with all the research that we do, man, with all the research that takes into making every single video, every single day, the time, the effort that we put into it, the connections we have to make, all this work that goes behind making this clickbait, what you call clickbait, You know, it goes way too much effort and way too much work into one video to bring you this news so that you don't have to work hard for it. So you don't have to go all over the internet and go crazy trying to find what's going to happen next.
Sure.
And then I can tell you that every single time that there has been a commotion on YouTube with Nintendo creators, something always happens. Every single time. For the Switch OLED, yeah, we were expecting a Switch Pro, but a Switch OLED came out. When the Switch Lite came out, there was commotion. Something always happens when there's commotion, dude. And that's what I tell my viewers. Look, we're not perfect. We like to speculate. We like to have fun with what it could be. But guess what? We smell something. Something is coming, and something always does. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I gotta stick up for my fellow YouTubers, because that's something that I've seen constantly happen. Yeah, we might not always get it right. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't, but we always get something. I mean, and that's it.
Even though we just had that recent example of the Splatoon 3 stuff, which is our next topic. Example, whole bunch of Nintendo Direct stuff last month. And we got a Nintendo Direct. Was it the one we wanted? Was it the one most of us spent time talking about? No. Mm-hmm. But we did get a Nintendo Direct factually last month. A Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase. And then everybody started attacking that show before it happened, blasting it, embarrassing Nintendo. No General Direct. We're all pissed. Some of us held a little bit of cooler heads. I threw out a video saying, hey, let's calm down. We don't even know what's in this thing. There have been good partner showcases before. Mm-hmm. And then it turned out this was better than some General Directs. So, like, it got to be one of these situations where we don't always know exactly what's coming. But when there's enough smoke out there, there's something. It might not be perfectly guessed, perfectly predicted, perfectly conversated around. But something has happened every time. Mm-hmm. Every time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not every rumor comes true. Not every report happens. You know, like we had, you know, we have Metro Prime 1 remake supposedly is a thing. Okay, well, none of us have actually seen this. None of us actually know. But hey, you know what? It's a thing. Oh no, are we ever gonna get Wind Waker Twilight Princess HD? That was a big report last year. Hasn't happened yet. Okay, like not everything comes true, but a lot of the bigger stuff that everybody's talking about in some form means something's going to happen. And guess what? Something did happen today, everyone. And that something is our first topic.
Hey,
the Splatoon 3 Switch OLED edition. What a transition. What a segue. What a segue. In fact, let's show you guys that trailer here, since we have it all set up to do that now.
Heck yeah.
So this thing obviously took a lot of people by surprise.
I love it.
I think the reason it took people by surprise isn't though just because people were expecting something else. It's also because this is our first fully themed backplate and Joy-Cons and dock complete bundle for Switch OLED. Is this the first one?
I think so.
Yes,
they don't do this like hardly ever for even like the original version 1 and version 2 Switch. We had a few light, variants for Pokemon and stuff, but I think this is the first one we have had for Switch OLED, and one that's this in depth. I think the last one that was this in depth was, they did one for Smash Bros. They did one for, I think, Animal Crossing. And is that the last one they went this in depth with the dockable Switch? I know Monster Hunter, by the way, I know it did, but that's a third party partnership.
It wasn't that in depth. It was just a little carvings in the backs like that, but it wasn't really that massive.
So like Nintendo hasn't been doing this. Like I thought they'd be doing this more this generation. But think about this: we have a Splatoon 3 special edition Switch, but we don't have a Mario Kart one, the best selling game on Switch. We don't have a Zelda one. In the top 4 best-selling games on Switch, we still don't have. And by the way, it's not as if there haven't been other Zelda games released in between that they could have threw one out that people would have bought just for collector's value. They just haven't done it. We got some Joy-Con for Skyward Sword, and that was it.
And even the Mario one wasn't really a Mario one. It was just red. There was no sign of Mario or an M. Right.
Yeah. Well, this is the Mario Edition Switch. Okay, so you have Mario Red Joy-Con. Okay. Cool. We already have red Joy-Con. These are just slightly darker red. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. The exact Mario color. Oh my God.
So Yeah, I think the system first off looks really, really good, and they didn't just announce this; they also announced a Pro controller. We've had Pro controllers be themed before, so they have a themed Pro controller, and they showed off also a new case. I don't know if the case comes in with this or not, or if the case is sold separately. I'm sure,
$25.
Yeah, so I'm not really too worried about that. I don't really care about the case. I'm set on my Switch case. But if you're a mega Splatoon fan, I can see, hey, I want everything Splatoon official. Cool. So they don't unveil a new Switch case for Splatoon 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is really good.
Switch, I'm sorry.
Oh, for sure.
I like the Joy-Con.
That was just going to say that. Those
sick.
Joy-Cons are beyond sick.
Man.
Dude, and I like how they went with the white color on the back, but then they still have the squid marks going up it.
Yeah.
And like one's filled in, one's holes. Oh man,
right,
dude. They put some real design work into this. Their artists did a fantastic job. I'm not sure if I want the yellow ink to be the splat on the front, but
it just makes it more authentic though. You know, it's like okay, the white,
it's unique.
The white dog and something, a splat
looks
paint
like,
right
looks
there.
like my kids. It looks like something I yell at my kids like they were playing. What did you do in the living room? What's this crap on my Switch? Oh wait,
Dude, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna try to see if I can pre-order it whenever it goes up. But I want it because it looks really, really nice.
I mean, you can always shoot your duck with a paintball gun and be different colors. So, I mean,
right?
Yeah. So I think it looks really, really good.
No, for sure.
I had debated on, I have another Switch in my house. I had debated on if I'd trade in my OLED to put money towards this or not. What I can, well, I'm not going to say that right now. I'll wait. I was going to say something right now, but I'm going to wait on that. We'll see.
Ooh,
this is a we'll see moment. I have to confirm something before I can say it. You know what? I'll just say what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I want to give one of these away.
But
I can't because usually things like this, when they're this detailed, are limited run.
Oh yeah.
So I can't confirm that till I get a pre-order in. So once I get a pre-order, a confirmed pre-order, because I'm going to try to do it in person because that's usually the best luck I have with these. Presuming they let you pre-order them in person. If it's only on the My Nintendo store like they did with the special edition of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, then I probably will never get to give one away because scalpers are going to eat it all up.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
But assuming that I can get this at retail, I do plan to give one away because it's just such a cool device.
Yeah.
So, but again, I can't commit to that giveaway until I get a pre-order.
Yeah.
Because I'm not paying $1,000 secondhand. Sorry, I'm not supporting scalping just to give something away.
Yeah.
Cool with that.
I think nobody should support scalping. Chat. Nobody ever support scalping. The only way to get rid of it is if nobody supports it. That's it. You know?
Yeah. See, I can't go as far as you because I did participate in scalping with the Switch OLED. I got it.
Oh, well, that was different though. That was as a
but it was 2 weeks early, and I paid twice what it cost.
Yeah, exactly. But that's basically a privilege, though, that you're paying for a privilege to have content for your channel, which is going to benefit you in the long run. So it wasn't really. By the way,
this was content that we weren't even sure Nintendo would let us keep up.
Yeah, so
it was a pretty big risk because I had no idea if Nintendo was going to strike all the videos.
Mm-hmm.
So it ended up working out, and all of us that got it early made some amazing content, which I'm glad Nintendo didn't do anything about because all it is advertising for them. I don't think there was one negative video about it before it came out.
Your screens are a little flimsy.
No, they're not flimsy. That's why I broke.
Oh yeah. They're too rigid.
They're too rigid. The screen's too rigid. No, I didn't have the proper stuff to do it right, which it's fine. Technically, that Switch, and that was the one that I spent extra. People got mad at me. I'm like, don't worry. I broke it a day before it officially releases, and I have a real one. Like my own coming tomorrow that I already paid for and paid off, and I didn't cancel my pre-order just because I bought one. I think that's what made people mad. You spent all that money, and oh my god, you have the privilege to. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's cool. I mean, you could have bought it too if you really wanted to spend that kind of money.
Okay, so Austin Evans does it all the time.
Happens a lot.
Like every single time. Actually, yeah, the same exact week he had 2 Switch OLEDs by this other girl that got him early too, and he broke them both apart as well. You know what I mean? So
I've been looking for because I enjoyed the content of making around that so much and taking it apart and everything. I've been trying to find secondhand dev units of older Nintendo systems. I found a few. They're a bit pricey, but I have some really awesome content ideas I want to do around exploring older dev units. And I say older ones because modern dev units are all internet locked. So you can just look at it, but you can't do anything with it because it'll be all blocked. But the older ones, like GameCube dev units, as an example, you can do everything. I could build a game for GameCube right on that thing.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
So like I really want to get my hands on those. I think those would be really cool. But again, they're pretty pricey because they were extremely pricey back in the day when these devs bought them too. Even though you could argue they're useless now, they're not supposed to be sold. Ever. They're not supposed to be sold. But companies go under. These units end up on the market because of it. And Nintendo doesn't seem to care too much. None of the companies seem to care too much about the really old because it doesn't. Oh no, our system that's already been entirely hacked halfway to Sunday. Now we care about it 20 years later. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No, nobody cares.
Congratulations. You're going to find out technology that was, how many years old and and not even available anymore, probably because we're all well past it. So
first off, Mike, do you plan to pick one of these up for yourself or are you good?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I love Splatoon.
I'm going to try to get 2 because I already promised everybody I'll get 40 Switches. I'll try to get 2.
He's just banking up for when he hits 100,000 subscribers. He needs, and the thing is, I will say this: even if you hit 100,000 subscribers and we're already under like Switch 5 in 10 years, cool. But also, if you have the special edition ones like this, they'll be highly collectible and maybe worth thousands. So it's still will be a worthwhile giveaway at 100K because you'll have one of a kind collector systems.
Yeah, but I actually made a poll recently, and I said, "Do you guys want to keep doing the Switch OLED giveaways when we get to 100K, or would you like me to give away a trip for 4 people to Super Nintendo World, and I could personally pick him up here, take him on a tour in Super Nintendo World."
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, I'll say this: he hasn't offered me these services. You guys,
right.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Look, my birthday came and went. He didn't do anything for me. And then, if I hit 100,000 subscribers, am I going to get a trip? It's okay.
When I get 100K and you're a subscriber, you could win the trip.
So you asked them, and what did they say? What are you doing at 100? I guess they want the trip.
The trip won.
Yeah, I believe it. Well, that's a very unique thing. Like. That's flying a family out or a group of friends and putting them up in tours and like that's a lot.
Only I say it only US because I ain't gonna pay some for no international.
I will say this though, Mike. I will say this: as much money as that is, it's significantly cheaper than buying 40 Switches.
It is true.
Probably.
Technically, it's a money saver, but it's still really, really cool. And if you're a 100,000 subscriber YouTuber, like them just meeting you alone is already cool, and they don't have to pay any money for that. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm picking up at the airport, taking them to their B&B, and then like giving them a tour of Super Nintendo World. Like, it's a good price, right?
Heck yeah.
As you're doing a tour and you're talking about the history and all of this, and all of a sudden not Disney, but the Universal employee walks up to you and they're like, "So, do you work here?"
Yeah, right.
Like, no, but you can pay me for this tour.
Yeah, right.
Everyone gather around. Big tour coming up.
Yeah, right.
All right, over here is where you take your watch and you punch the question block. Get your free coins.
I did work at Universal when I was a teenager, so I did work at Universal. I think I still have my little badge. I think I still have my little badge somewhere, so I'm just gonna put it on.
Just put it
on. So obviously, it's a really cool system. I don't think Eric plans to get it.
No, if they sold the Joy-Con separately,
if it was a Zelda one though, that's the problem.
It would entice me a lot more. I probably still wouldn't.
What if there's a Breath of the Wild 2 special edition Switch?
Nah, it's not gonna be one. It's not gonna be.
Well, I'm just saying if they don't do a special edition something for, it better not just be Joy-Con. I'm sorry. If Splatoon 3 can get this treatment when the last one only sold 15 million, come on now. You have nothing special edition Zelda Switches anywhere.
Yeah,
they got to make a big deal out of this launch, man.
Yeah. God,
I mean, I thought that the first OLED edition was going to be Breath of the Wild. Man, it's not.
Well, why would it be Breath of the Wild? It came out in 2017. It'd be a newer game. They'd do it within.
I mean, Breath of the Wild 2. Breath of the Wild 2.
Well, yeah, Breath of the Wild 2 is just not here yet.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Neither is Splatoon.
Yeah, well, duh. You
that's at least
announce a special edition system before it comes. We have a release date for Splatoon
we actually
3.
have a release date.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
We don't even know the name of Breath of the Wild 2. We're still calling it Breath of the Wild 2 because we don't have a name.
Right.
So I guess
What if that's the name?
sorry. Guys, we're not being politically correct. It has an official non-title, the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. That's technically what it's called.
Yes.
It's not called Breath of the Wild 2.
But what if they've been telling us the name the entire time? Sequel to Breath of the Wild. And then when they reveal it, they say, here is the sequel to Breath of the Wild. We're expecting a huge name. Like the WoW was.
That's what the title is. Well, it'd be funny if we called it Breath of the Wild 2 the whole time and like, this title is so spoilerly. What's it called? Breath of the Wild with a number 2. That's what it's called. That's the spoiler.
The sequel.
Yeah.
The tagline is the sequel.
Subtext, the sequel.
The sequel.
The sequel.
The tagline is
Legend
the
of Zelda
sequel.
Breath of the Wild 2, the sequel. Okay, we got it. It's a sequel.
Yep.
I guess you don't have to, we always wanted Nintendo to be really blunt and forward with their naming. Like, hey, just call the next Switch, if you're going to do a next gen one, Switch 2. Makes a lot of sense. No. That's not obvious enough.
No.
It's got to be the Nintendo Switch OLED Lite 2 edition, the sequel.
The sequel.
Yeah.
The sequel. Just tagline everything. The sequel.
Anyways, what's interesting, of course, is, and I noted this in I did a Prime News video today with like 7 stories, and the final story actually got added after I already recorded the original, is because this is dumb. So I was like many people. After Splatoon 3 OLED edition was announced, I kind of sort of figured we'd be done talking about anything to do with potentially an upgraded Switch. Outside of speculation and or discussion videos on it, but like any sort of rumors, any sort of leaks, I kind of thought we were just going to be done with it until next year. Like, I'm like, all right, we'll revisit this in 2023.
Yeah.
But it turns out the announcement of the Splatoon 3 thing only made the Switch Pro stuff come back up because somebody in China told us we were getting a Splatoon 3 OLED edition. They told us the day it was going to be announced. They told us the time it was going to be announced at, which it was announced at the exact time they said it would. And they also told us the day it was going to release on August 26th. And that person also said we're still getting the upgraded Switch hardware later this year, announced in September. There's a couple people involved in this on this Chinese forum. It's a really massive forum, 600,000 plus members. One of these people claims to be someone who works at a manufacturing. So that's how they basically, where the info is coming from, is they're on the assembly lines putting this stuff together. And then the other person is one of the head admins and moderators for the entire board who confirmed who this person is and added information into it. And it was the moderator themselves that said the exact day, time, etc. before anyway. There was no rumors, no reports, nothing about this OLED out there. This was the only person in the entire world on the internet that had anything about this, and they nailed the day, the time, and when it's releasing. So that's, unfortunately, because this is what was announced, and it was announced at the exact time, on the exact day, with the exact release date, it started letting some credence to this guy who said, by the way, we're also still getting the upgraded Switch later this year, announced in September. Now, no exact date for it yet. Maybe he'll have an exact date as we get closer to September. But these two people had a little bit of information, just a smidge of information on this system, because obviously it is claimed from the guy manufacturing that they're currently manufacturing them. They're currently being mass produced and put in a warehouse for launch. And this person, nothing like super exciting, guys. We're not going to get into what are the specs? How much RAM does it have? People on the assembly line don't know that. Okay. Yeah. They just get the parts, put it together, put it in a box. And, maybe what it says on the box gives a little information, but you're not going to get exact. Nintendo doesn't give exact specs. The assembly line people don't have exact specs either. But what we basically learned is, one, it just uses the basic Nintendo Switch logo on the back plate, just like the Switch Lite, just like the Switch OLED. So it's the same family of systems. It's not a next gen. Okay. That's kind of what they're saying anyways. Also, apparently, and I did some digging into it. It sounds like somebody did a no-no on the assembly line. It might have been this person who did a no-no. So hopefully they don't know who he is and he doesn't lose his job over this. Someone stuck a Switch cartridge in one of them right off the assembly line.
Part of me is wondering if it's not their, because they will pull one off the assembly line to test to make sure that everything is still coming. Because I've worked assembly, and we pulled stuff off the line to test it to make sure that everything's still coming through.
And I can tell you right now, most assembly places have a department that tests all the products. It's a testing. Yeah. It's called final testing. Yeah. It gets to that department and they test it before it actually gets sent out. According to this person, he just grabbed it right off the assembly line and just stuck a cartridge in. He wanted to see what would happen. That doesn't sound like somebody who was supposed to do it. Right. Anyways, I'm just going over the information that was given. And he basically, he stuck Monster Hunter Rise in, and it was running at 60 FPS already. You guys know it runs at lock 30. Or it only goes up to 30, I should say, on Switch. So apparently it was running at 60 FPS.
Size is the same. Everything is the same. Just basically the internal specs.
He didn't note. It's not like he didn't have measurement tools there. Like there was someone else on the forum said, "Oh, it's an 8-inch screen." These two never said it was an 8-inch screen. So if you see any reports on there, it's gonna have an 8-inch screen, it didn't actually come from the people that were right about the Splatoon 3 thing. That's just people on that forum speculating. Because he was trying to talk dimensions, but he wasn't really sure. He was like, maybe it's an 8-inch screen. Maybe they just made the bezel smaller. I don't really know. Like my interpretation of the stuff he said is it looks like it's a similar design to the Switch OLED. A few minor differences to indicate it's not that model. It's a new one. But it accepts the same Switch cartridges as an example. It's the same family of systems, so of course it does. And he stuck one in. That's how he knows that works. So and he agreed with the. Basically, he said around September announcement. He said this is indicated by how many are being mass produced right now based on when prior systems were announced. Sort of we kind of know knows from being on the assembly line when Nintendo's mass producing versus when they're going to announce and release, and that's kind of how he's putting it together. Obviously, he doesn't work at Nintendo, so you can't just say, this will be announced then. But apparently, they were able to find out when Splatoon 3 was going to be announced. So. It's going to be interesting. And this manufacturing person did say back in April, and everyone outside of China ignored them because, hey, this person hadn't got anything right yet, so why pay attention? He said back in April that he knew that Nintendo was going to be releasing a special edition Switch OLED this year because they were already starting to produce them back in April. And then they asked him what game it is, and he said, I know what game it is, but I'm not willing to talk about it because, only so many employees probably knew exactly what game it was, and at that time, so I don't want to get fired or anything. And now, obviously, they talked about it, days, weeks, right before it's going to be announced. So, because now there's too many employees who know, because things about to get announced. It's about to get announced.
Well, they've literally been rolling through
internally
the
knows
factory
about this
too,
at this point, which is shocking that information didn't really come out from other places on it. That's what's really surprising is how under wraps this was. Emily Rogers didn't talk about this. Nate Drake didn't talk about this. No Jeff Grubb, no Tom Phillips, no Takashi Machizuki. Like nobody seemed to know about this except internals, which also gives a good idea that possibly only internal manufacturing and employees are going to know exactly when, say, the next Switch is going to be announced. Because maybe Nintendo has fixed the leaks when it comes to the hardware stuff. Now, granted, this kind of goes, have they? Look, we have a leak. Yes, but we have the leak because this is somebody who supposedly works in the assembly line. This doesn't necessarily mean, that they're going to know all the exact dates all the time. How they came across the information on the dates for Splatoon 3, I don't know. They don't obviously go into details on that. I'm assuming they talked to a Nintendo rep or something and figured it out. Or maybe there was something maybe there's something on the box at some point on the back of the box that indicates it or something like that. But either way, I find this just really, really fascinating. And it leads me to wonder, because since I was going to dismiss it until I saw how exact they were with the information. It's one thing to guess, they'll make a Splatoon 3 themed OLED. Okay, cool. Like anyone can get, maybe thought they're going to make a themed Xenoblade OLED. Maybe think they're going to make a themed Pokemon OLED. Like you can make that sort of guess. But to not only make that guess and say the day, the OLED trailer went out, so it's easy to guess the day. Okay, fine. But guessing the time? Sure, you can go back and look at when Nintendo dropped other trailers. None of them drop at consistent times. They do start their marketing push at 9 a.m. ET every day up to about 8 p.m. Central Time. So that would be 8 a.m. Central Time. So a 12-hour period. They got a 12-hour period every day that they kind of do all their marketing in, but they have different intervals throughout that day that they do marketing, and then none of the intervals are consistent on when they drop trailers. They could drop a trailer at 2, they could drop a trailer at 9, they could drop a trailer at 5. They're all over the place. So to know that exact time and say, fine, that's a lucky guess, but then to also know the exact release date, that indicates you've either already seen this damn trailer, or you know people that obviously knew what was going to happen. So I find this to be rather interesting, and it's one of the most credible stuff. Like after I made my video, I watched Zach's Switch Forces video on this, and he brought up a really good point that a lot of times when we get these leaks and rumors, we don't get exact information correct in this manner. And every time we have in the past, it's another one of those where there's smoke, there's fire. So it's one of those, do I think we're going to get a Switch Pro by the end of this year, or some upgraded version Switch, a new Nintendo Switch? I don't know.
Nintendo Switch, the sequel.
But, I mean, September is around the time they usually do another Direct. If they are going to release it 2 months later in November, well, they like to have at least 2 month run-ups. Usually, they announced the last ones in, what was it, in July, and then they launched them about 2.5 months later in October. So, you know, it could kind of sort of still fit in the time slot. That if they go early in September, it could still be like a middle of November thing. So there's a lot of ways you can look at this. Some people think, hey, if they announce it in September, which by the way, I don't think they would announce it in September to release in 2023 because you could cannibalize holiday sales a bit. So I know there's a lot of people that are strictly on the, if this is coming, Breath of the Wild 2, Breath of the Wild 2, and I totally get it. They launched the original Switch hardware, Breath of the Wild. It would be a really big boost to new hardware, even if it's not new generation hardware, just upgraded hardware. It would be a big boost because, hey, they've launched other hardware around other games too. They did. I can't remember. I forget what game came out around the time Switch Lite did, but there was some major game. I don't know, was it a Pokemon game? Really, Diamond Shining Pearl? No, there was some sort of game came out right around Lite. I can't remember. And then obviously last year for OLED, we had Metroid Dread. So, with the white colors that were very fitting for the Emmys and Metroid Dread, it kind of almost felt like the white felt like a Metroid Dread, version. It was basically the Mario Switch with the dang darker red Joy-Cons. So I don't know. This is all speculation I'm speculating at the moment based on these supposed people that got the stuff right. The problem, of course, is a number of people who do speak a lot of native languages and dialects in China have looked at all of this stuff in the forum and basically came to the same conclusion with the general basis of what these people said. You guys might go to forums in English here, and you might see that people are using not completing sentences, not completing words, using text speak. Same thing they do in China, same thing they do in every country, which can make things very, very hard to decipher, even if you know those language natively, if you're not actively always typing out in that language in that country to understand. So that's what makes it a little bit difficult to dissect it 100% perfectly unless you're from there and already actively participating in it. But a lot of people that know the languages there have gone through it. Obviously, it's been ran through all of the automatic translators out there that there are, and Google Translate, and I think there's 4 other really big ones. Someone even had a paid one that's supposed to be a professional suite that they threw all these forum threads through, and it's looking solid. So what are your guys' thoughts? Now that I've kind of explained the situation, I don't know. I leave it to you guys. What do you guys think? Because I feel like if I keep talking about this, I'm going to get more and more people coming at me and calling me names. So your guys' turn to take a little bit of the heat.
Okay, go for it, Mike.
or you're about to give me the heat. Let's go.
Right.
Let's go. What do we got?
So, this is the first I hear about this, believe it or not, about the supplier guy who predicted Splatoon and the exact dates, exact hour, exact moment, and everything. So it's the first time I hear about it, and
it's very hard to follow the tree, by the way, on this because nobody has all the information gathered in one spot. So you're getting all this information from like Reset Era and Family Boards and Reddit, and you got to combine everything together to really decipher it all. Unless you just happen to speak native, then you just dig in and find the original source. And I found the original source and I went to the forum, but Google Translate's only going to get me so far, especially when people are using broken parts of the language. So, but yeah.
So what I think about this is the Switch OLED Splatoon edition just announced today.
Yep, this is in August.
So, I think that I hope so. I hope that the community, I know, although everybody really secretly wants a Switch Pro, even though right now I don't feel like we really need it because we still have so many games coming out that run well on the Switch that we have now. But we all secretly want, and not really secretly because it's not secret. It's not a secret at all.
Not a secret. Look at all the views on videos.
Right.
Look at Switch Pro and Switch 2 trending on Twitter every other day. It's not very secretive that people want this thing.
We all want a Switch Pro. Yeah, we want a next gen. It's having the excitement because even when the Switch Pro comes up and it's announced and it's out, guess what? Now we're going to be looking forward towards the next gen Switch or the next gen console, and that's all we're going to be talking about.
Well, at first it'll be performance comparisons for like a month, and then people are going to go, okay, so when's Switch 2?
Yeah,
and I know it. Exactly. I know it, guys. I already know it. Especially if it's the same family of systems. Sure, this might keep Switch going another 2-3 years, but we'll already be like, all right, so when do the dev kits for Switch 2 go out? And then the rumor mill starts all over again. Guys, this is how it goes. This was how it went. Remember NX? That was Switch. And
I remember that.
We're going on for 2 years. I'm just saying. Like,
what I really want, to be honest, can I be honest with you, Nate? Can I be honest with you?
You go ahead. We don't allow honesty. We only allow clickbait on the show.
Yeah, right.
Eric, and I'm tired, dude. I'm trying to keep up with this algorithm. I'm gonna kick your butt one day, but
you can lose your mind keeping up with the YouTube algorithm.
Trying to find this dumb wave. I have this like the smallest surfboard. I use analogies all the time. I have like this the smallest surfboard, and I'm trying to catch the wave to get a good wave, to get a good ride, so that a lot of people can see the channel. But man, if all we talk about is Switch Pro, then there's no more room for fun. Because what if I want to make a video that I dress like Mario and I head outside to downtown and start saying hi to people as Mario? Yeah. No, nobody's gonna see that video because all we're talking about is Switch Pro. I'm like,
not exactly. I will say this. That's not exactly true because that's a unique type of video that hits on different search terms.
Yeah,
like I'll tell you right now.
But who's really searching guy dresses up as Mario and goes downtown greeting people?
No. You got to come up with a clever title. Right. You got to come up with a much more clever title about I dressed as Mario and stood in the middle of Miami for 8 hours straight. That just let it be that the miss. What the fuck are you doing in the middle of Miami dressed as Mario for 8 hours? People are going to sit there and click on it because they're like, "What the hell?" I see videos like this all the time, similar type of ones that get millions of views from really tiny channels.
If I get to 15K in the next 5 to 6 months, I'm gonna do that video.
You're gonna do that?
I'm gonna do that video. I have a mascot. You've seen it dance on the channel. I have a mascot costume.
The reason why I said I don't think Switch Pro affects views of other stuff is because all of my videos that on Switch Pro, 7,000, 8,000, 10,000 views. All those videos, this podcast might get 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. All of them are just hitting on the same search terms. It's people looking for that. That's like why we know it. People want it is people keep looking specifically for it. They are literally typing Switch Pro into the search on Google and YouTube and then sorting by last 24 hours. I could see it in my analytics.
I agree with that.
People are digging for this because they want it so bad, and they will hold on to any tiny more. Like I talk about these random guys in China, and people are holding on for dear life because they just want it. They want it.
I agree. But I want to talk. I'm ready to talk about something else, dude. I really am. I really want the Switch Pro, but I really, it's like, for example, Nintendo. This is crazy because we're moving so fast. We are still in the middle of 2020, right? 2020. I'm in 2020.
Please no.
I'm still
Please no.
We're still in the middle of
Maybe we
2020.
can go back like a month. I'm good with that. Well, you're not. You're about to hit a bunch of hell for a couple weeks.
Yeah, right.
I'm about to hit Prime Gaming Fest and cruise. I'll take that.
Yeah.
But still in the middle of 2022. Like literally half year has gone by. When you come to think about it, 6 months ago, just 6 months ago, we got Pokemon, Arceus. Nobody's talking about that anymore. Only channels who are actually dedicating themselves to just continue to stay there forever.
Well, to be fair, they did announce Scarlet and Violet, which, I mean.
Yeah, and that completely just.
I mean, it's a new generation of Pokemon, so.
Yeah, you're right. But then, Trials, Kirby the Forgotten Land, how long ago was that launched? That's a brand new game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's still a brand new game. Nintendo Switch Sport, Mario Strikers just announced. Fire Emblem so Fire Emblem announced. Okay, gone. Let's just talk about what's coming up next. Forget about what just.
So what kind of channels are you watching though? Because channels that cover news, they're always moving on to what's next.
What I'm trying to say is that sometimes we just have to take some time and smell the flowers that we have before us, and not worry too much about what's coming tomorrow. And I'm sorry that I'm going to get a little deep with this, but sometimes we worry about tomorrow when tomorrow might never come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, let's take some time and enjoy what we have before us. Today, I'm enjoying to the max that we're getting a Switch OLED Splatoon edition. Even though I'm not the greatest Splatoon fan, I love new hardware and I love the look. I love the design. I like art. But when I see that newness of that announcement today, that's something new that I've never seen before that they just gave us. So I'm like, I want to take the time to enjoy what's right before me, what's the new thing that we just have. You know what I mean? And we're always looking so far ahead that we kind of forget about the things that we have right in front of us. And I know that in YouTube, the algorithm picks up all these things because that's what people look for. But that's exactly it. Everybody's looking for what's ahead instead of what is just announced and what we have. I've seen some people say, "Oh my God, I'm looking forward to this game so much." It comes out, right? But then again, they leave it behind and they never go back to it again because we get distracted with what tomorrow's going to bring instead of kind of focusing on what we have today and enjoying what we have today. You know what I mean? Like this podcast. I'm enjoying this podcast when my mouse just died. But, I'm enjoying this podcast today. I'm not worried about the podcast next week. You are because you got to plan it.
Right.
But
I'll tell you right now, I'm not even worrying about that podcast until this weekend, maybe.
And
just
there you
because
go.
I know we might have Andre's restart on, so I gotta plan. When I know it's just gonna be you, I didn't have any plans for this podcast till today. I'm gonna be honest. I don't plan my podcast till the day of when I know it's just the same crew. Mm-hmm. When I have guests on, then I gotta think ahead.
Yeah. And I just wanna leave this out there. Guys, there's a lot in the world. I know there's so many things that are coming in the future. Future is not here yet, but there's so many things that we have now that we can take the time, slow down, stop the clock, and enjoy what you have. If you don't have a Switch right now and you have the Wii U, enjoy the Wii U while you can until you get the Switch, and then so on and so on. Because I hear that a lot. I'm like, I don't have a Switch. I don't have this. I don't have that. But what do you have? Enjoy what you have now so that later on you can enjoy something, more. I just feel like we have to kind of just slow down a little bit because it gets overwhelming sometimes. You know what I mean? I will. There's so many videos that I want to create that I know people could care less about. But it's because I like some certain topics or I like certain things in the world of Nintendo, But I cover news. So I find myself stressing, trying to get into the algorithm and trying to get to.
Here's what I'll tell you, Mike. Mike. I tell this to every YouTuber who you're not necessarily starting out, but you're.
I'm a newbie, dude. I'm a noob.
Yeah. So, this is what I say. Don't worry about the algorithm. Don't worry about chasing the views.
Be
The
happy.
number one most important thing to do is make content that you're passionate about. If you make the biggest thing, and I tell this to all people who are, hey, I want to start YouTube. What should I do? Well, one, you need to have the idea yourself. Make content you want to watch. If that content doesn't exist yet, perfect. If it already does, then do it the way that you think it's not being done by others. Like some of your best videos, Mike's, are like the ones where, yeah, you were kind of having some fun with the whole internet going crazy over Switch and doing the whole news thing and there's nobody else on YouTube doing that. And I'm sure you had a hell of a lot of fun conceptualizing that, filming it, editing it. It's always fun during editing. Like it can get a little frustrating with certain parts, but then when you see it come together, you're like, man, that's great. And no one else is doing that. It's one of those things where whatever you're passionate about, that's what you should be focusing on. Like hearing you talk about all this stuff, worry about the future, appreciate what you have now. It's funny because I'm almost the polar opposite of you. Not that I don't appreciate what I have, but I get what I have, I beat what I have, and I move on because I'm good. I'm satisfied. I don't like replaying games. I'd rather look forward to it. But here's the thing, though. The difference, what makes me the polar opposite, is because that's what I'm passionate about. That's the content I want to make. Yeah. Some people, though, are forcing themselves. Like when people go, man, how many videos on Switch Pro? How many conversations on Switch Pro can this guy have? Unlimited, because that's what I'm passionate about. But for some people, they're tapped out. I'm done. And those are the people you usually see angry in the comments about. And like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Be tapped out. Be done. There's plenty of channels that aren't covering any of this. You just have to find them. And sometimes it can be hard to find them. I know, because a lot of the bigger channels are chasing views because they have other things to worry about once you get to a certain size than what they're passionate about, such as paying their bills, taking care of their kids. Like, they're like, oh, why does maybe Switch Force clickbait so much? Well, he just moved into a new house. He's got shit he's got to take care of. And if the views tank because he's just making what he wants to make versus what people will watch, it's tough. And that's what sucks for some YouTubers is they make what they're passionate about and they get to a certain size and then they want to pivot a little bit because they want to make some different kind of content because they're a little bit tired of making the same content all the time. And then they try that new content, it doesn't get the views and suddenly they can't pay their bills. So they just feel stuck in a cycle of needing to make content that they once enjoyed making, but they burned out on it a bit. I'm kind of done. I'm burned out. I'm done. I want to do something else. And it doesn't always work out. I mean, PewDiePie is a good example. He used to get way more views than he gets today. But he burned out on live streaming horror games all the time. He burned out on doing meme reactions all the time. Like Lowai used to be a big deal on his channel like just last year, and he just kind of burned out on it. He was making videos every day, then he really enjoyed it, and then he burned out on it. And now he's set for life, so no one has to feel bad for the guy. He was very smart with his money and very frugal. So he's good. He doesn't have to do YouTube videos. He's talked about this at length. He considers himself retired. He just makes videos because he still wants to make them sometimes, not because he needs any money anymore. And so he's in a good place where he can just make the content he wants to make it whenever he wants to do it. He could just drop a video every 3 months and he's fine because he's already set for life. And that's good for him. But like Mr. Beast is an example. He's obviously always looking for that next big idea that's going to get a lot of views because the driving force for him is what he can turn the views into to help others, which is a really, really cool thing that he does. And it's one reason why nobody gets mad when he clickbaits because it's leading directly to bettering somebody else's life. And it's really hard to get mad at somebody for doing that. Like, oh man, we're getting so mad at you. Clickbait. And you don't hear any of that in his stuff, even though he clickbaits all the time. Because he's turning that into a force for good. Cleaning up the oceans, planting trees so our children have oxygen when they're, when they're on this planet. Trying to buy homeless shelters and all the money, like starting the Beast Burger and having all the profits from that go into things like food banks. He now runs one of the largest national food bank chains because he's trying to get homeless people food so they don't die. And I'm sure eventually, I know he's talked about some other plans he has. I think he wants to do something with shelters in the future and try to get people off the streets into at least a warm place to sleep at night. Because a lot of the shelters are understaffed or don't have enough room. And so there's a lot of good that they try, and that's just in the U.S. I'm sure it'll eventually expand out to other countries as well. But it's his driving force is to get the views so he can do something positive. The positive thing is what drives him. So yeah, him and his team will think of some crazy, stupid ideas and spend millions of dollars making like a Squid Games video, knowing that video is a springboard to millions more going to charity. And that's cool because that's what he's passionate about. And that's what I want to tell you now. Do what you're passionate about. Don't feel like you're stuck chasing views and chasing the algorithm. Especially at the size you're at, you have a job. You're not dependent on this for anything. YouTube is an outlet for you to be you and be passionate.
Yeah,
and
it's too late.
I miss when I was a dinky YouTube channel. Like, it's funny when that All Things Mario guy, when he was here earlier, mentioned, that, hey, you've been at this 11 years. I haven't been at this 11 years. The channel has existed since 2008. I've only been doing YouTube for 5 years. So it hasn't been 11 years. Because I wasn't passionate about YouTube back then. The YouTube channel existed to be a social media platform to something else I was passionate about, which was Zelda Informer and running that website. I was very passionate about that. The Facebook page got up to 1 million followers. Yeah, that's right. I was like 1,000 short of hitting 1 million followers on the Zelda Informer Facebook page before they removed me. And that was all to support the channel. So like, everything was built around what I actually was passionate about and just expanding the reach. And now that site no longer exists and I have no ownership stake in it. And now here I am making YouTube videos because after that was taken from me, I didn't know what I was going to do next. I negotiated and got this YouTube channel that used to be the Zelda Informer YouTube channel. And I had no idea what I was going to do with it. No clue. I got to skate by a bit with some social media jobs and making some money. And I sat there and I was starting to do the podcast a bit more often, making it weekly instead of random. Like it used to be random. Like, hey, I got more time now. Let's do it weekly if he could commit to it. And that's kind of what I just did. And I just put out random news videos here and there about stuff I was interested in with Nintendo when I had time to make them in this dinky little room over there. Like really dinky little room. Like this set wouldn't fit in this room. And that room is an example. It just wouldn't be possible.
It would be very, 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 very tight.
No. But this alone's longer than the room. These two desks next to each other. They don't fit. Huh,
fair enough.
They didn't. I tried moving them in there when they were doing flooring. It doesn't fit.
Nice.
Not side by side.
Nice.
Obviously, they fit. It fit, but yeah. It's not it's a very tiny room. It's like an 8x8, and it's like a closet sort of cut out of that 8x8. So then it's even smaller. Yeah. So the point is, though, we used to do the podcast and everything in there. I don't know how the hell I even sat in that room. It was so cramped. Like, put it this way: if I leaned back like this, because I'm like, I gotta think about this, I would just knock down a bunch of shit off my walls.
Yeah, you would.
It was bad, but I made it work because I was really passionate about this. And as I started doing YouTube and making the videos more, it was just voiceover gameplay at first because I had a capture card, and then I was only on camera for podcast. The more I did it, the more I started realizing, I've always loved talking about news. I've done it at Nintendo Everything. I've done it at Go Nintendo. Zelda Universe, Zelda Informer, Gamnesia. I've always liked writing about news, and I'm finding out the more that I'm putting a voice to it, I kind of like this too. And the more I kept making news videos, the more I started realizing this is fun. This is like me typing out a news article without typing, and I can put emotion into it without having to come up with words that I hope people read correctly to invoke the emotions I want. That's awesome. And so I quickly learned by the end of that year, I was starting to make 3 videos a week and doing 2 live streams a week because I was really enjoying it. And then I'll say fast forward to now, we're in 2022. I got daily content, 4 streams a week, 3 streams a week and a podcast. And heck, Prime Gaming Fest, 12 days in a row streaming because of that dang thing. It's crazy. And all of this is because I'm passionate about it. And my passion has not dwindled at all. You cannot be me and make the amount of content I do and not be passionate about it for one reason and one reason only. Many of you probably could. I'm not going to sit here and pretend the channel doesn't make money. It was like $24,000 last year. But let me tell you, $24,000 with a family of 5 is pocket change. So I can make way more money, working at McDonald's, if you're completely honest, and now they've raised the wages. I can make more money working at the local gas station per year compared to last year's revenue. But other people could look at it like, oh, I'm fresh out of college. That sounds like good money to me. Like, yeah, sure. If I was 20, 21, 19, Hell yeah. That's great. I'm not, guys. I just turned 36 yesterday. Like, I'm in my mid 30s before I'm getting this success on YouTube. But I keep at it because I love it. You know, we invested between me and my fiance in the last year, from E3 extravaganza last year through today, I think we've got over 10 grand invested, not counting the giveaways, just in what's in this room right now. And that's like insane to me to think about. And we're about to save up to spend another 6 grand later this year to invest in this space again. It's insane to me to like think about that.
Yeah, it's a business. I mean, it's like, for example,
it became a business. Last year is when it really, really became a business. But it was also, Yulia knows I love this, and it brings me joy. And all of us want to find the thing that we're passionate about and joyous about, and it doesn't necessarily have to make you money. It didn't really make me serious money till last year, I guess. And this is Mike as an example. Don't worry about the money. Don't worry about the views. Build a community around the content you want to make. Like, people already love you. People in the community love you for your Mike multiverse thing. Because you're the only person doing stuff like that. Your comedic bits. When you threw out that Nintendo Prime video when you were pretending to be me, when we did that whole back and forth thing for Halloween or whatever it was. Like, people love that stuff. And like, when they see that on my channel, they're surprising because I don't do stuff like that, really. That's not my brand, but that is becoming what your brand is. My brand is, I take myself a little bit too seriously sometimes. I can be super high energy, and then I can be down to earth, and I can be passionate, and I'm willing to talk to anybody. But I'm always
my brand is right now is too, it's wild, because I love news. I love giving updates on news and Nintendo news and stuff like that. But I also like entertainment, so I like entertainment. I also like music. I also like, so I like a lot of different things that I'm trying to incorporate into the channel. So it's like I'm still working on creating a base of what the channel what Mike Odyssey is going to be. Yeah, you know.
Here's an idea for you. Here's a Spitfire idea for you. Do one news video a week, but have it be like, you know, whatever the big stories are. You can put it all together, but do it in the Mike Perez way. Because you have all week to plan that video out, shoot for it, whatever, and slowly edit it. Obviously, you know, on the final day, there could be an emergency story you want to throw in. Well, hey, guess what? You're breaking news. And then, you know, whatever the news happens to be.
Just right in the middle of your news video, just breaking.
I think you'd really enjoy that, because instead you don't feel like you have to rush out like today with Splatoon 3 OLED edition. You know, like you were one of the first people I saw get a video out on Splatoon 3 OLED. You were out like that, 2 minutes 30 seconds. You just had it up.
I like it, and that's the thing. I enjoy it. I enjoy finding out last minute things. Just turn on the computer and just talking about it right away. Yeah. So it's, you know what I mean.
So you find a mix. So you find a mix of it. You know, like I know, like you want to do like the topic news every day, and it's like you don't have to. That's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. Eventually, I want to get to it. Like
right now, I'm trying to squeeze Prime News into a 3-hour window when it usually takes me 5 hours to make an episode. It's a hell of a lot of work. If
I didn't have a full-time job, trust me, if I didn't have a full-time job, I would actually do it. Because I have a full-time job. Sometimes it's 10 hours a day. So, you know, if I didn't have a full-time job, then I would literally be Monday through Friday news, and I would still do entertainment segments on the weekends. Those little skit things on the weekends, you know what I mean? Just to keep it like a variety, and also unboxing. So I'll actually just divide the channel with the news, reviews whenever games comes out, unboxings, and those skits, Nintendo wise, in the world of Nintendo, you know. But once I get there, I'll get there. So, but you know, you're talking about Mr. Beast. You know, I feel like I can relate a lot to him, because when I started the channel, that was my passion, dude. That's what I wanted to do. Before when I started Nintendo Academy, I didn't know who Mr. Beast was. I literally didn't know who Mr. Beast was. You know, I wanted to start a channel because my wife and I have been working with special needs for over 25 years together, 30 years. You know, we've been helping out with the homeless, with the church. We've been doing like a whole bunch of things for the community, right? So, when I started the channel, I wanted to do just that. I want to bring a Nintendo channel, right? Once it grows, then I can expand and I start the One Up Foundation, and then continue to do things with the community, with the channel, with everything that the channel does. So that's eventually where I want to go with the channel. I want it to be entertaining, to be about Nintendo. Kind of, retreat a little bit from the news area, make it more entertainment, Nintendo, and then also Foundation. You know what I mean? So right now I'm still in the news, kind of, because I love news, and news is like something that keeps me going and keeps us busy, right? You could tell it keeps us busy, keeps us like alert, there.
I enjoy it.
Yeah. And I'm not phased, but eventually,
I wanted to get a video out on that Splatoon 3. I was awake and just got my kids dropped off at summer school, and all of a sudden the Splatoon news dropped, and I sat there and I'm like, oh my God, I'll rush home and get a video out. So I go home, I write down some notes, I go to record, and I'm like, I am dead. I'm tired. I was up late watching Stranger Things last night. Obviously it was my birthday as well, so I didn't go to bed.
I gotta watch it.
I didn't go to sleep till it was 4 a.m, but then I had to be up 2.5 hours later with the kids. I'm like, I am dead. So here's what I'm going to do. I've got energy for a single video today. I'm not skipping Prime News. Let me just glance and see if there's any other news. Oh, look, there's 7 stories I want to talk about today. All right. So I gathered all the news. I sat down. I made my recording. And I'm like, I went through it. I kind of faked all my energy for it, and then I hit off, and I recorded it with cinematic mode on my phone. Yeah. You guys are liking it. I've been using cinematic mode on my phone for Prime News specifically.
Good. It looks great
because the features I could do with cinematic mode here I can't actually do on this camera. The new camera I'm getting I can, and I can do it at 4K 120 on that camera, which is just insane. That camera's insane. But for now, I really like the natural bokeh. I tried doing editing bokeh in later, and also it looks fine. 1080p 30 FPS is fine for those videos. And so I sat there and I'm like, hey, I can't get it off my phone to my computer. It keeps disconnecting. Takes forever to go to iCloud. Okay, I'll just upload it to Google Drive. Okay, it doesn't take that long to get on Google Drive. But I hit upload and said it'll be 20 minutes, and I said I'm going to be asleep in 20 minutes. I'm out. And I went to bed. Prime News didn't drop today until what? Eric was already here?
Yeah.
And usually I want it out by noon or 1. But I accepted today. Only one video is happening, and I want it to be Prime News. So it took all day before I even acknowledged the Splatoon 3. People thought I was hiding, that I was crying in a pillow somewhere about it, and I'm like, no, man, I got other crap going on in my life that I got to worry about. Isn't about
you were crying.
I was like, man, I hope Nate's okay. I think he had a heart attack when he saw that.
Yeah, right.
And I saw that news. I got excited.
You were
like,
crying.
Oh yeah, he must be. So I'm like, yeah, I'm so crying in my pillow because
you were crying. You were drooling.
Yeah, I was drooling.
You were drooling into your pillow.
I mean, my pillow was wet, but it wasn't from tears.
Yeah, right.
Use the imagination. No, so. Like Mike was bringing up all this stuff, because I asked, what were your thoughts on this whole Switch Pro thing, and he basically went on a long-winded rant of he's tired of talking about it. And that's totally fine. You might be on the wrong podcast if you're tired of talking about it. but
I'll talk about it here, though. I will talk about it here, but I'm
So do you have any actual thoughts on it? And then I'll toss it to Eric quick before we move on to our next topic. Our next topic, by the way, is probably more at Mike's alley. Something fun, something different. I'm sure that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get to that next topic. But we're almost done with this one. I wanted to just get your thoughts quick. If you have any besides that, you're just tired of talking about it, which I get it. So are a lot of people.
What do you mean about the Switch Pro?
Yeah, just about the whole Chinese rumor, I guess at this point. Which call a.
I mean, I would love to see the source, because I would love to see the whatever wherever it came from.
It's a rabbit hole.
But if it's true, it does make me excited. It does get me excited. I would love to see the timestamp where that was written at the time that he said that, because I want to believe it. I want to jump in the deep end.
That was a bonus story today. So one reason Prime News didn't come out even earlier, guys, I was going to have it out, by 2:00 instead, is because I found out about this and I went down the rabbit hole for 2.5 hours researching it. I wanted to make sure that, if I'm going to talk about this, I want to make sure that I can find it. I can verify it at least a little bit. And then I want to dig into other people who have been digging into this for hours and actually translating and getting alternative opinions, and that guys, the reason that I do that is so you guys don't have to. Yeah, I by the way, I always provide the starter link. Here's where I started. Gaming Leaks in Reddit thread. Go there, and that's how I started, and the rabbit hole just gets deeper from there. But I always link my sources, and my people always say, "Oh, you're just making this." My sources are always linked in the video that I was a news video. I don't have anything linked in this video. It's a podcast, but if you want to go check out that video, it is linked in there. Good luck, have fun. Catch you in about 5 hours after you've wasted the rest of your evening digging into it, because it is a rabbit hole. It's because of where it came from that makes it such a rabbit hole. Because it's one of the hardest places to decipher when you're talking about China. They don't even use like the same language all the time. Like they're using like different dialects of it, different versions of it in the same forum. And if you're already not a language expert, it's a mess. It's a mess. By the way, they probably think coming to our stuff and going reading our forums are a total mess as well to them. You know, if they don't know English and know how we say things, like we say LOL, and they might still be thinking that it means like lots of love. You know, back in the 90s or something. That reason the definitions changed. You know, I'm just saying that like it's hard to dig into it for when you're not native to those languages, and it's not. I'm not gonna say Chinese isn't common. Clearly, it's common, just not common around here. You know, Spanish, stuff like that. That's a bit more common in our area. But like, I don't know. Anyways, Eric, do you have any thoughts?
I'm kind of in between you guys. I am a little bit sick of talking about this. I just wanted to be here.
It's one of those things that now on Andres restarts the new cover.
Right.
Podcast.
No. I'll talk about it, but it's one of those things. I'm sick about it. It's sick of talking about it because I just wanted to be here. I could really use an upgrade to my Switch, and I really don't want to buy an OLED if an upgraded Switch is coming out. So that's kind of where I'm at. I want this to be real because I kind of want a new Switch, but I don't really want to buy an OLED because there's the possibility always the overhanging possibility of the second I buy, well, maybe that's why I should buy one, because the second I do, then one will be announced. So, you know, it's one of those things that I just, God dang,
it's so like we all want it, but it's also how, you know, for some people how it gets. It's been years. At some point, can we just get this thing announced?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, Nintendo Academy already knows the moment it's announced next day. So when Switch 2, like I already know that video of mine is going to exist like a month or two after the thing. It won't be the next day unless. I'm sorry.
Same
there's
day.
a massive. Same day. It could be same day because there could be some massive rumor that drops from Emily Rogers or something. I have no idea. But one thing is, like I was talking about how I'm like the polar opposite of Mike in some ways with what I'm passionate about and what I consume. Like the thing is, in me always looking forward, in me always talking about what's next and how excited and how passionate I am about that. I never stop enjoying what I already have. I go back and play some games here and there. Still playing Kirby to this day, and it came out in March, right? People go,
you surprised me when you told me that you played the arcade cabinet at the cruise.
Yeah, like I'll still play stuff, but people go then make videos on it. But I'm not. I'm playing that for me. I'm not playing it because I want to make content on it. Like I don't have a passion to make content on that. The last time I had passion to make content on a game I was currently playing was probably Shredder's Revenge. But then I was on a cruise anyways, and I wasn't going to make content. By the time I got back, I just didn't feel like making content on it. So it not because I was done playing it, because I'm still playing it here and there. It was just kind of I don't have a passion to make content on games that all of us are already playing, because all of us can already formulate all of our own thought. Like anything, I like doing opinions and thoughts. And when the game's already out, and you guys have it in your hands, and you can just formulate your own opinions, your own thoughts. You don't need my opinions and thoughts. So I'm not passionate about that. You might want them. I know there's many of you guys that say, I want your thoughts on this game. I want you to review this game. I get it, but I don't have a passion to do that stuff. But there's an irony to this. If I have a game early before you do, I have a passion to create the content because I can provide you information you don't have.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants that. Everybody wants information nobody else had. So
that's what made the Switch OLED when I got it early so fun for me.
Yeah,
it was a lot of work, and I overworked myself, to be completely honest. But, I mean, I hired someone to edit one of the videos because I was getting drained, and that was like $1,000. And I'm like just going through all this because it was so expensive. Because not because the video was super long, but because they had to sift through 15 hours of footage, and that's a lot to put on anyone that's not me.
Okay.
So like it was just the sheer amount of stuff they had to go through to make the video be coherent and everything, and any extra audio they need me to record or to make things fit. So what's interesting is I love making that content, and I have a huge passion for it. The reason I have a passion for it is because I have access. You don't. This is one reason why I like E3. Yes, anyone can go to E3, and there's a billion content creators there, but there's many, many more that can't go. Many, many more that aren't there. So I'm giving my thoughts on what I played there, giving my thoughts on the experience, doing vlogs, it's all exciting to me because I'm presenting stuff that most of my audience isn't getting anywhere else or hasn't seen in the way that I'm doing it. And I that is fun to me. So like, why don't I, hey, I really want to hear your full review thoughts on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. Best beat 'em up I've ever played. There you go. That's the review. I don't feel like anything I have to say about that game adds value over what's already out there. Yeah, you can play it for yourself, and there's a billion videos and reviews on it. So that's why I'm really passionate about either stuff I have access to you don't yet, or stuff that isn't here yet. So I really do appreciate everything I have. That appreciation's for me. It's not for you guys. Now, I don't know about other content creators. I have no idea what they're driven by and what their real passions are. If they feel like they're I always wonder, I haven't had a chance to talk to Zach. I've talked to Gabe from Switch Force because he actually really likes my content, apparently. I found that out today. I actually had no idea that he really likes my content. Has been watching it for years. Good for him. Well, I do a more adult-oriented channel, and he likes to be more adult-oriented. And Zach obviously keeps it pretty family-friendly. But he edits all the videos over there, and I just had a brief little conversation with him, and it's interesting looking at hey, I've never talked to Zach. Is he motivated by needing to make the next paycheck? Is he motivated because he is super passionate about what he's making, or does he feel like he has to keep making it because he's 350 episodes into Good Morning Mario, and doing any other content would just be really difficult for him to justify, even though he might want to do something else, right? Like, I think about it too. What's nice about me is my channel's built around news, and almost everything I do is always going to be built around news. I've had other ideas, like arguing with myself. I've had that as a unique idea, and I realized after I made that first episode did fine. The numbers were fine. The reason I didn't do it again is that's an idea I can't execute alone. So until I have a teammate or a camera guy or someone else, I'm not going to be able to really do that show the way I want. It took me literally 6 months to put together what many people probably thought was a video thrown together in a day, because I'm a solo creator. I'm a solo camera guy, solo audio. So my ideas for a series like that are beyond the present capabilities of the channel. But that doesn't mean I won't revisit something like that. If we get to a growth point, it just won't be replacing current content. It'd be like, the current content's going to happen because I love it. And by the way, I got this awesome surprise I'm dropping Saturday. Come check it out. Because weekend videos are obviously really light on. Everyone knows weekends are light on news usually. So that's why you see Spawnwave even. He'll drop different. If I tore apart a GameCube, that video is going to be on Saturday or Sunday because there's no Newswave on those days. So I don't know. I'm really passionate about this. I'm excited for the Switch Pro. Well, Mike might not be talking about it a whole lot moving forward until there's some real information, or at least like a massive real rumor from somebody that we can verify more easily than someone in China. Then I know that I'm always going to cover all of it because I'm super passionate and I want to keep talking about it, guys. Like, what I haven't talked about with Switch Pro in a long time, and I want to dive into it, potential specs. I haven't talked about potential specs of this bad boy since a year ago. And there's a Drake out there, potential version. There's supposedly stuff floating out there from people with dev kits, and I haven't talked about any of that yet. Just keeping it in mind and some future content ideas that I might be thinking of. So if you're tired of the Switch Pro content, maybe unsubscribe. If you want more of it, well, I guarantee I'll have more videos the rest of this year on this topic, whether it gets
and unsubscribe.
That being said, I will say this about it. I do want a wider variance of topics, and right now, the lack of the general direct at the moment has led to me having less to talk about than I normally would at this time of the year. Because everything we know, like Splatoon 3, I would love to talk more about it, and we got this awesome system today, but they just keep dropping these little tiny nuggets, and I'm waiting for something more substantial. Where's my more substantial?
Give me the meat.
There was something I didn't include today. There was some new news on Xenoblade Chronicles 3 that I feel really bad. I didn't dig into it. I should have dug into more. It was a lot bigger news than I thought it was. So I feel bad about that, but hey, I will say, you'll never need to worry about missing that news if you go watch Player Essence. He is all on top of that. You ain't going to miss any nugget on Xenoblade Chronicles 3 over there. So, different channels specialize in different things. I do. Yes, I have a lot of rumors and leaks, and a lot of Zelda content because I love Zelda. I'm going to tell you, if I scrape up a Zelda rumor from 4chan, I'll probably make a video on it just because I love Zelda that much. I don't give a shit. Oracle of Ages, 4K edition, coming this December. If I find it on 4chan, I don't care if it's made up. That is a conversation I want to have. I want to hear that Tingle. This is like dead serious. Tingle's balloon fight. I want that bad boy dropping in the next 12 months, and I want it to be in 4K DLSS, 60 FPS, and I want everyone to learn the glorious story of Tingle and Uncle Rupee and his brothers, and I want them to learn it now. And I'm not even like, it sounds like I'm not. I actually legitimately think it's a great game that most people have never played, and there's a whole trilogy of Tingle games that most people haven't played. Why are you on 4chan? Though? I'm not really on 4chan. I'll tell you how often I go to 4chan to find an idea for a video. Once a year. I'll check out 4chan once a year. By the way, real leaks happen on 4chan. It's just so there's no trackable history. So it's all kind of shots in the dark on, is this thing going to be? I have no idea. But if I find it's interesting to talk about because it interests me, as I said, Zelda, I'm a sucker for. That's why I said if I went to 4chan and I found a new rumor on something Zelda related, I probably instantly would want to make a video on it, even if I note warning and big warning flash at the beginning. This is 4chan, probably not real, but I just think this is a really badass idea.
You'll still get hate.
I know. I did that with Mario Kart Crossroads or whatever. Yeah. There was a huge, giant thread about it on 4chan, and I made a video. The very beginning of the video, I said, okay, this is 4chan. It's probably complete bullshit, but stick with me to the end of this video and tell me that you don't want this to exist. And we went over it and reacted to it, and people were like, dude, that is such a badass idea. That's why we made the video. Because this is such a great discussion. Even though it's something that we all know we're never going to get. My Lord, was it fun going on that journey that this fan completely made up. And sometimes that content's fun, man. Like, content's fun.
I actually enjoy talking about games and even rumors of games and whatever games that actual consoles themselves. Because I'm more excited about the actual...
the content, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like a console, it's like, okay, it has specs, it does a thing.
It plays games.
Right. All right, next. Next. So one reason why for hardware, if people want to know what drives me with hardware, I'm also like, guys, I was covering stuff about the PS5 and Xbox Series before it came out, and I'll cover things about their mid-gen refreshes too and their slim models as information comes out as well. Even though we're a Nintendo channel, why? Because I'm a really big tech enthusiast. So like that's also what drives me a lot with tech stuff. However, I love the games. Speaking of games, Donkey Kong, DK. First off that comes to mind when I say Donkey Kong. Eric, go. First thought. You hear the words Donkey Kong. What do you think?
What I play in Smash.
Okay. Mike. Donkey Kong. First thought. First thing that comes to your mind.
Godzilla versus King Kong 2.
There we go. So,
fair enough.
We're talking about Donkey Kong because they updated the trademark to include a new line in the trademark that got published on July 1st that basically just infers, hey, we're making programs for a electronic portable device.
Yeah, it's coming to iOS for sure.
Yeah. No, but the language is actually different in it than when they made for the phone ones. Like Super Mario, when they added the phone line, it's a little different. They don't specifically say phones, but the way it's a mobile, not a. I don't know. You have to go look into the thing. I don't have them right in front of me right now to look at them, but the language is different. It's essentially an inference that they're working on something DK, maybe multiple DK things for Switch, because they say programs suggesting more than one. But, I also noted, when I covered this, that working on it and it ever releasing are two different things. So we don't know if it'll ever come out, but they're working on something. And we know there's rumors that go back to last year. I'm not really going to go over the rumors too much because the rumors don't have any information in them. The rumors are basically they exist, or this game, a single game exists. It's new, and we don't know if it's 2D or 3D, and Mario Odyssey team's involved in some way. Okay, that's it. That's the end of the rumor. There's no real information in there other than it exists. Okay, so I, instead of want to focus on, hey, what do we think? When do we think this game's going to come out? Do we have those conversations all the time? We don't have any real information here. Besides now, potentially an actual hint from Nintendo that this is real in some form or another. Something's happening with DK somewhere. We know a movie thing probably happening. We know a theme park's probably happening, but something's DK is becoming a big deal in some way. So I want you guys to tell me, and I'll tell you guys mine as well. What is your dream Donkey Kong game? New game coming out. What do you want that game to be? Let's start with Eric.
Yeah, I know for me, with the Odyssey team working on it, I want something similar to Odyssey.
Team. What do you want?
No, that's okay. No, that's what I said. I want an Odyssey type. I want
Donkey Kong
with the Odyssey team working on it. I was getting to the point that I kind of want it to be like Odyssey, where it was.
Eric had something to say, and I cut him off.
Right.
Imagine
that.
That's it.
Imagine that. Yeah. So I kind of want that Odyssey play. I love the concept of going between the 2D, 3D, and things like that. It to me, that'd be a lot of fun. I don't know how it would make sense in Donkey Kong, but if you could find the right way to reason how we switch between the 2D, 3D worlds, I think it could work. And that's kind of what I'm wanting.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike.
So,
that mushroom did not taste right.
Yeah.
You know what game? Do you know what game got me very excited for Donkey Kong because of the possibilities? Believe it or not, that this game also got me excited for the future of this same exact franchise, and I really, really hope that Nintendo goes this way moving forward. Bowser's Fury, okay. Bowser's Fury, not 3D Mario. Bowser's Fury. Bowser's Fury for me is the best Mario game that I've played in years. Okay, to
be fair, we haven't had a new Mario game in years.
But I mean the concept. It's kind. Yeah, it is open world. It's like Kirby.
Open zone.
An open area. It expands to another area.
Yeah.
It's eventually it becomes an open world game once you.
Once it's all unlocked. Yeah. Once all the zones are open. Yep.
Yeah. So I think Nintendo has to go that route with Donkey Kong as well, because
that'd be a good one.
Believe it or not, I'm more excited about a Donkey Kong in that format than I am about Sonic. Sonic. Because Donkey Kong has the potential. It already has the history behind it. It has a good story with it. It has a good history. So putting Donkey Kong in its own world, starting in the middle of a jungle. Give him some tools to kind of get by and try to make it to another area, and on the other side of an island. Just put him in an abandoned, really big, giant island, right? It's all jungles. We have these giant trees and you can climb up and come down in. You can swing on these little swingy thingies. And then, pick up these barrels right there and throw them against something, there's so much possibility, and then rescue Diddy Kong somewhere else and then have him join you, whatever. But there's a big possibility or there's promise in Donkey Kong because it already has history, it It has oomph, and it has like this, it has the meat that you need and all the pieces to make a good, solid open world game. Just put them on an island somewhere, like a really big jungle, and have us explore the entire jungle and beat the game. You know what I mean? Like different areas of the forest or the jungle or whatever. Sonic, is just speeding through everything and going places and upside down, and
gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast. Yeah, right.
Yeah, going fast. So, Donkey Kong has a better, I feel like a better feel for a game like that, like an explorer game, like an adventure explorer game in the middle of the jungle, in the middle of the world somewhere out.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, one thing that you said that it kind of intrigues me is, saving like Diddy Kong or, things like that. But what would be really cool to tangent onto that would be, it then becomes a playable character, and you can swap out. You can either play between Diddy Kong or Donkey, and then you go into the next zone and you save another one of the DK group, and then all of a sudden they're becoming playable. And then once you have all of them unlocked, you can go do something. I mean, that'd be pretty freaking cool.
Yeah. I mean, you give Donkey Kong like I'm not gonna say Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild. Everything's gonna get Breath of the Wild.
Make Breath of the Wild jungle.
Yeah.
and that, but what I mean, the mechanics give him like a little storage thing where you can actually have, store things. If Donkey Kong needs some type of weapons or some type of armor, something that could, make him stronger along the way as he gets there, something to collect, something to give him some type of power or whatever, give him something to work for it throughout the game. Don't make it a point A to point B. Make it a growth game. As you go, you get stronger. You gain whatever experience points or coins or whatever. But make it a growth game, something that you can look up to. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I wish Breath of the Wild. I wish Link had experience points and he got stronger as he went. You know what I mean? For like type of like an RPG kind of game where you like HP up like that. I wish you get hearts, and I guess that's considered kind of a strength because you get more hearts and it's harder for you to die. But I wish you get experience points and kind of level up some. I don't know, maybe at something. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm tired.
I liked it.
But yeah, is Nate in the bathroom?
No, he's here. He's surprisingly quiet.
A little too quiet.
Yeah, right.
I think his mic is broken.
Yeah.
Yeah, his mic is broken. He would have said something by now. Kind of scary, Nate. Talk. Comfortable silence.
In a world.
Yeah.
No. Donkey Kong. Day late on that one. Day late. So I'm just going to throw this out here. It's never happening. I've thrown this idea out for many other IPs. It's never going to happen.
Never know.
But this is not, the topic isn't something I think will realistically occur. It is our dream Donkey Kong game.
Oh, yeah.
Well, my dream any Nintendo game is basically the same concept until it finally fucking exists. Donkey Kong MMO. Set the stage. You guys are joking.
Okay.
Oh, no, don't Breath of the Wild it, but like something like, no, Breath of the Wild the fuck out of it. But everyone can play. You make your own Kong. We don't actually get to play as Donkey Kong. We don't actually get to play as Cranky or Diddy. There are NPCs in the world. They're giving us quests. Sometimes they'll team up with us for certain things. We're taking on Kremlins and all the rest. There's a lot of bosses and lore. Every single boss that's ever been in Donkey Kong can be present in this. It can be in dungeons for him, in the middle of forest. You get a full, look at you think, climbing everywhere in Zelda is cool. Climb as a fucking monkey.
Yeah.
Tell me how badass that would be. Yeah, of course you get to swing.
Oh, yeah.
You get to swing. Of course you get to swing. You get to eat all the bananas. Forget the clan. No.
You get to chuck all the poo. I mean, wait.
You probably get to do that too. Like, I want a leveling system. I want a crafting system. I want an ability system, a customization system. Like, look, it's never going to happen because Donkey Kong's not a big enough IP for Nintendo to build a $100 million open world around it. It's never going to happen. It'll happen with Mario, and DK might be part of it before it'll ever happen. It'll happen with Pokemon. Pokemon's slowly kind of getting to there a little bit.
Yeah.
They got multiplayer.
Yeah.
Next step after that, if you can go through the entire Pokemon adventure in Scarlet and Violet with your friends, the next step is open world. MMO style. MMO style.
I think it happened. I think it can happen because all they have to do is build an engine.
But
that's it. Have an engine.
And Zelda, obviously, I mean, Zelda is what it is. There's a billion characters. They have you make your own character. I think Zelda, a Zelda MMO would be cool. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but again, those are all some of Nintendo's largest IPs ever owned, created, whatever you want to say. It won't happen with Donkey Kong. But you know what? The more I sat on this topic in this podcast, the more I want it to happen. So you know what? If this is where I get my open world MMO Nintendo game, then fine.
Yep.
Donkey Kong, baby. Let's go. DK. Donkey Kong.
Oh, God.
Let's go.
Oh, Lord. No, that'd be fun. I like it. I like it.
That's why I was being quiet. It's a dumb idea that's just so dumb.
No,
it would be
it's
fun.
not. It'd be it. That's awesome.
It's not a dumb idea. It's actually a good idea, man. I mean, we don't have a big solid first party MMO in Nintendo.
We haven't even had Donkey Kong fully proven as a 3D game, and I'm already saying nope. Let's go. Let's go straight into MMO.
Right. The only issue is it's Nintendo and online, and we all know how that works.
I don't know. Their new servers work just fine in Monster Hunter Rise.
Nintendo is unpredictable, so you never know.
But Monster Hunter is not Nintendo.
They're not doing an MMO because
Monster Hunter is not Nintendo.
We can't even get full online.
They may be running on their servers, but they're not Nintendo.
Yeah, but I mean, the servers run.
They do. They do. You're right. But
we'll see how Splatoon 3 online works on how bad that's crashing.
Yeah, right. It's one of those things that, look, it's Nintendo and...
honestly, what I really want is a massive open world Nintendo game where they have different planets and different worlds that represent the different franchises, and like it'd be so cool. Yeah. No, Starfield's a self-contained world. This would. I mean, I know there's other planets, but it's all one focus, right? This would be obviously you have your Zelda, you have your Metroid planet, you have your Star Fox, you have your. You go to all you have a place built around snowboard kids in 1080.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, you can just bring everything back. You want your Mario Kart? Yeah, and you have Captain Falcon coming in on your Mario Kart planet telling how pissed you are. You should be on the F-Zero planet. And there's a war going on between the two. And Captain Falcon sort of Falcon punch his way into taking over Mario Kart. Like, you can have so many fun storylines that make no sense, but they're just fun. And it can be done in such a family-friendly way. And it would be so cool. Like, look, I'm never going to get that game. I realize that we're talking about a company that wouldn't even come up with that concept of a game, let alone be crazy enough to invest the hundreds of millions of dollars to build it and then have to maintain it. Because that's the big thing. A lot of times Nintendo can build a game, then they do the DLC, then they're done.
Yeah. And then you can have
getting to get an MMO that's never done, and you have to keep supporting it across multiple platforms for 20 years. Like they're not going to do it.
But then you can have random rabbit invasions
Donkey
on each
Kong.
world.
Give it a try, Nintendo. Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Just like Bowser's Fury comes out, instead of Bowser's Fury, have rabbits.
You don't get XP for killing animals. You get XP for eating bananas. Come on.
Yeah. Bowser's a giant rabbit.
Dude, you could have a marketplace, an in-game marketplace where people are hoarding bananas and selling them on the black market. Bongos.
No microtransactions.
You could have an entire mini game quest in there built around the DK bongos. Like, I'm just saying, like, I can
selling the bongos on the black market
because I love MMOs. I really do. I the only reason I don't dive more into them is because they do suck your life, and I'm at a point in my life that I can't have my life drained when I have 3 children. However, the moment that they are all moved out and living on their own, God willing, please allow my children to get the hell out of my house someday. I will probably start playing MMOs again, and I hope by then I have a nice Nintendo one to dive into.
Hopefully, if Nintendo comes out with one there's no microtransactions, you actually have to work inside the game, make money inside the game, and then buy your stuff inside the game.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, nothing outside the game.
they'll have to. I don't see the thing is like even in like World of Warcraft, I don't mind the microtransactions. It's fine. It doesn't really. You don't ever. That's buying the game. You don't ever have to spend any money on anything, and you have an awesome time. But I mean, yeah, you want to sell me that that fierce deity skin for my character from Majora's. You know what? Dude, you got me, Nintendo. Here you go. Here's $20. Give me my damn skin. Oh, you want to sell me a cosmetic Majora's Mask? That's fine. Sell me the cosmetic Majora's Mask. It's stupid, but I would spend it. I don't care. I just want it to exist. I don't care if it exists with the worst. I don't care if it's only even if it's on my phone. I will become a mobile phone exclusive player when my kids are out of my house. I will literally throw the Switch and all my systems, and you're going to see me live stream Nintendo MMO from my phone all day long. I don't even care.
Nate's gonna make it.
It might not even be good. It might be the shitty, but I'll be that shitty game, and I'll be the biggest white whale there is. I will give you all my money from YouTube.
Dumb question, but what kind of monkey is Donkey Kong?
I actually don't know. Is he? No, he's not a chimp. Is
he like a gorilla? Probably the closest thing would be a gorilla.
Is he an ape? An ape?
I'm not sure.
I think he's an ape. I would presume so. I don't know. Google.
He's a donkey.
What kind of monkey is not Curious George?
Well, that too.
Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong is a male gorilla.
Male gorilla. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking.
Okay. Okay.
According to Wikipedia.
And according to Donkey Kong Wiki, which is pretty much the same difference. Here, what species of primates are the Kongs? People ask this exact question. Most of them appear to be gorillas. Cranky Kong, Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong, Candy Kong, Funky Kong, Swanky Kong, Kitty Kong, Chunky Kong, Wrinkly Kong, Bluster Kong, Super Kong, Chain Kong,
Cranky Kong.
Gorilla is just a straight up character. Bink, and all the members of the Evil Kings. They're all gorillas. Lanky and Manky Kong are orangutans. The relationships are unknown. Eddie, the mean old Yeti, is a Yeti.
Yeah. Dixie, Tiny, Diddy, and Diddy Kong's
counterpart,
Super Kong counterpart.
And Super Kong's counterpart are a bit more vague. They could all be monkeys, but the former three at least have all been described as chimps. So basically, those seem to be the categories that you could place some of them in. But it's all kind of there's not, I don't think, any official documentation out there. We do not have the Donkey Kong Historia to reference published by Nintendo. So it's kind of a, hey, we have some in-game references and some, you can kind of compare what monkeys look like and chimps and apes, but yeah, whatever. The non-fungible. Oh yeah, it reminded me of the bonus topic.
Oh yeah, the small
Thank
bonus
you so
topic.
Much for the non-fungible Kong.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of a special bonus topic. We'll spend about
real quick
13-15 minutes on this or so. Someone out there is attempting to launch the world's first NFT game console. Hold on.
Oh my God.
Let me grab the exact details for you. I don't want to mess this up.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I think I saw that.
Here it is. Hold on. Let me find a legitimate place to talk about this from, because it's totally legit and we have to talk about it. Here we go. We'll use this one. This will work. Here we go. We'll go through this together. Let me show you guys. So get this at Video Game Chronicle. It says the first NFT games console has been announced. The Polium 1 will allegedly be released in 2024.
The Napoleon Dynamite.
By the way, it's so much going to be coming out. Kind of like the Amico, which just got canceled.
Oops.
So, hope you didn't pre-order the Amico. You ain't getting your money back. Have a good day. Have fun with that. Yeah. But its reveal has been met with some criticism. So here's the console, the concept anyways. Well, there's the logo a little bit there. So a new console aimed at Web3 gaming has been announced and immediately met with resistance from some players. Web3 company Polio claims its Polium 1 system will be the world's first multi-chain gaming console that will be capable of running games built on different blockchains. The console will be powerful enough to run high-performance games and be easy to use for a traditional gamer who doesn't understand Web3. Polium claims. The console, which Polium says will be released in Q3 of 2024, so they're looking holiday 2024, will only be able to be pre-ordered by players who buy a Polium Pass.
so I have to buy something
You have to
in order
buy
to buy
You have
something.
to buy an NFT to get a privilege to buy it.
Oh my god!
Because it's an NFT on the Ethereum network. And
and then you exchange that NFT, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And there's only going to be 10,000 of these NFTs minted. So only 10,000 people will get an opportunity to pre-order this console.
Oh Lord.
Okay. You pay for the privilege to get the pre-order.
To just get it. No, it's not even pre-order. It's just to get it.
Well, no. You have to buy a Polium Pass, which isn't
to
NFT.
be pre-ordered. Yep, never mind.
There's only 10,000 of the Polium Passes.
I missed the pre-order part. Yep.
Which, of course, if this happens, those passes are just going to be so you can't even say scalped. NFTs are meant to be sold.
Yeah.
So people are going to buy them all. Some rich kid's going to come and buy all 10,000 and try to.
And I don't know if there's
privilege. By the way, it's only a privilege to pre-order the system.
Here's the other thing too.
By owning the NFT.
I don't think any NFT has been like 100% secure and not being able to be copied. So, yeah, you get 10,000 right now.
But this gets better. So according to Polium, the console's controller will include a fingerprint scanner. Fine.
Okay. Why?
You're just taking phone security and
sure
logins. That's fine. Whatever. I mean, I'll say this. I wouldn't mind if on Switch, when I go to log into the eShop, because for security reasons, I make myself have to go two-factor through my phone to log in. I wouldn't mind if they had just a fingerprint scanner or something like that, just a quick log into the eShop. I don't think that's a bad idea. And on Switch, we have a touchscreen already, so you put a little haptic. I don't know. I think that's not too bad of an idea. I wouldn't be surprised if that's common down the line. Anyways, and a wallet button, of course, because it's an NFT console. You got to have a wallet button. So players get quick access to the console's multi-chain wallet designed for trading, swapping, staking, and receiving cryptocurrency. Despite Polium's admission that only 4 people, so they have a total of 4 people in the whole world working on this hardware, the console will be capable of 8K HDR at 120 FPS with ray tracing. So they're trying to do something that isn't done currently with teams of hundreds. They have 4 people doing it. It's going to happen.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it can happen if those 4 people are just building people PCs.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess 4 people could build 10,000 PCs, I guess. The announcement has been met with some criticism and skepticism from a number of players who are, at best, not convinced on the merits of blockchain gaming, and at worst, believe it to be a scam, which seems to be any company talking about NFT-based games. Did you guys know that Ubisoft attempted to launch an NFT-based game, and it's now closed, and your NFTs are worthless?
Hey, imagine that.
Imagine
but remember
that.
Remember, we didn't know what we were missing.
Yeah, you didn't know what. Remember, Ubisoft told us you didn't know. Gamers don't know what they're missing,
and everybody kept telling them.
And then
we don't want it.
The game bombed, and they closed it, and your NFTs are worthless that you spent money on. Oh my gosh, it's almost like it's kind of a volatile market that you shouldn't be investing in. Just saying, especially in the gaming. But I'm not bashing all NFTs. There is some digital artist specific use cases for digital artists where NFTs are worthwhile, because their art is stolen all the time. So there is some benefit for some of them, but in general, I have yet to see gaming show a legitimate benefit that isn't going to be abused and lead to things getting shut down. And plus now, the whole point of NFTs and blockchains was not being regulated, and because so many people are losing money on it and getting scammed, governments are attempting to regulate it. So as soon as the regulations come in, it probably won't even be worth investing in anyways. Anyways, let me go. They're not done yet.
Oh, yeah.
You see the logo on screen. You guys have seen it. They couldn't leave the GameCube alone, apparently. So some have also pointed out the console's logo appears to be an upside-down take on the GameCube logo.
Take?
It looks
literally
familiar,
taken.
But GameCube has a G, and the cube represents their name, the company replied on Twitter. Our cube represents blockchain with a P. Now, to be clear, you can see this little logo here. That is not what the original logo was. They've already changed it. It literally was this GameCube logo flipped around, colored in, and a new line cut out to look like a P. That's what the original logo was. They have, to their credit, redesigned it. Still has some similarities, but that is a more unique logo. All right. Moving on. Not even the newly established Polium Discord server, which appeared to launch with no moderators.
Oh, that's a fantastic idea.
Has been free of criticism. So the Discord server can't even just get Polium fans. They got to get, lots of critics in, of course. The Discord scam alert channel, presumably set up to let users report potential NFT scams, a number of users simply replied, "This entire project." Well, you have no moderation, so the whole channel is going to be full of people that think this is bullshit.
Troll, and or bullshit.
In the ideas and feedback channel, the first comment simply says, "Give up." Give up. Polium has now posted a statement on the Discord addressing the initial response, accusing some of FUD, an acronym meaning fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Which, sure, I mean, everyone's going to have. I want to be careful and say, I'm not saying that this can't be a success and be something really cool. I'm saying that most people can't wrap their mind. Remember, what do they say? The purpose of the console for people who don't understand Web3 gaming.
Right.
Well, people don't understand Web3 gaming because they don't want it. And the bottom line is, if people still can't understand your product, then you're still not appealing to people who don't understand Web3 gaming. So,
also, you're in a market where a lot of people have been duped and smoked and
a very competitive market. Anyway,
very, very volatile, duped market.
I'm trying to be fair because I don't think this product's ever launching. But if I'm not saying like a company couldn't make it work, you have a lot of people are going to be fear, uncertainty, and doubt because they don't understand what you're doing. You haven't proven it. I'm waiting for a company to come out with a product like this that can actually prove to me. Like Ubisoft, you just don't know yet. Well, it came out, and guess what? It was as bad as we all said it was, and now the game no longer exists. So I'm waiting for a company to actually prove to me that NFTs are actually a benefit to gaming. I've heard speculation. I've had debates with people that can see some good ideas. None of these ideas actually exist in a game yet. And all the games that have come out to do it have clearly been cash grabs. So... I feel like some game companies are trying to get in on the NFT wagon because they don't want to miss it. Like many of them missed the like the Fortnites and of the world, battle royale games. A lot of them missed the boat on battle royales and are pissed at how much money these companies are making and they're not making it. And we released a battle royale, but if you're like too late, everyone's already got their favorite battle royale game, so kind of hard to break into the market. So like we don't want to miss the market on this. The difference was that market of Battle Royale was built upon free-to-play and season passes, things that people are used to buying on phones. No gamers that I know of buy NFTs. So you're trying to create a market that doesn't exist. It's weird. Anyways, I guess they're trying the blue ocean strategy. That's what it is. They're trying to Nintendo this shit. You don't know what you want till we make it. We didn't know we wanted Wii till it happened.
You're right.
I don't know. Anyways, let me see. Polium has now posted a statement on Discord. Again, the FUD thing. Yep. We have been receiving FUD and criticism. I think it's like the same thing at this point. But regarding our ability to execute, the statement says, to clarify, it's 4 of us that are building the functional prototype for the console and controller. So they're to build the prototype, and I think they're hoping to get a bigger company. So
basically, they're just setting up themselves for an excuse if they fail, because there's only 4 of us.
Which basically looks like a PlayStation controller.
I mean, it's your standard.
It's your standard PlayStation style controller. Yeah. With like nothing in the middle, or are they going to plan to put a touchpad there?
That might be the fingerprint scanner somewhere in there.
Yeah,
I don't know where that fingerprint scanner is.
I mean, this is also just a mock-up.
Yeah.
Anyways, we have here's the original Poli.
Oh God, yeah, no.
It's GameCube logo, but a different color, and they flipped it.
Yeah.
Anyways. I mean, it looks nice. I like the logo because I like the design. But, I mean, Nintendo came up with that design.
I think the only benefit of NFT gaming would be because you actually own the NFT. It's your property, right? It's not like you own a game from Nintendo, which you're only licensed to hold, and digitally, right? I think NFT in gaming would be a good way for you to actually own the NFT or the game as an NFT. So it's actually your property that you can actually sell, digitally to somebody else. So
I hear you. It's like physical. You pretty much have to install games all the time now. The license key is held on the physical item, so you can still resell it because you're selling the license to play the game. And most digital ways that we buy games, there's no way to resell your digital license, so you can't sell your digital copies
unless you sell your entire account.
People do that. People do that all the time, actually. But especially with Steam, a lot of Steam accounts you can find them for sale online. But the thing I will point out is, why do we need an NFT to do that? We should be able to just create a system that doesn't require NFTs and blockchain technology to resell digital games.
Mm-hmm.
There are platforms, by the way, that do let you resell digital games. It's not a popular thing yet. And there's a reason for that, because the companies, there's not a way for, and this is where like the NFT, if the NFT is sold by the company will get a cut every time it's resold.
Yeah,
it makes sense for them. But there's a way you could do that without an NFT. So people will work around it anyways and just sell their
anything traded or created or anything on this platform is probably going to be partially owned by.
I just don't think we need the blockchain
creators.
and NFTs to actually execute that concept. Like, I'm waiting for, what does NFT provide that we can't just make without it?
Yeah, I think there should be a regulation in the government when it comes to
the moment it's regulated, all the companies are going to drop it.
Yeah, there should be the right to trade or sell your properties, even whether they're digital or physical.
For those who don't know right now, NFTs are the number one way that money is being laundered at the moment in the whole world.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. That is very true, because it's basically. I mean, it's traceable, right? But
it's not traceable by governments. But
exactly.
But you can clean money with it because NFTs are legal. Yeah. So it's a very. Put it this way: the moment that things are regulated, NFTs are going away.
Yeah. So hopefully we get some type of regulation where we can actually sell and trade our digital assets, because everything is going towards digital, right? Money will eventually be digital when we won't have any paper or coins anymore. It will all be credits and digital. So hopefully something. Oh yeah, that is the logo. I'm just looking at the logo right now because it's
it's a GameCube logo flipped.
but yeah, I feel like that will be a good feature for gaming, and kudos to the first company that starts it, because either Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo has the ability to do it, to start it. Even if I sell Nate a game or Eric a game, let's say I have Splatoon, tired of playing it, Nate, I'm gonna sell it to you, digitally sell it to you. Nintendo's gonna take 5% cut. Take it. I don't care. I'm gonna sell it. Sell it to you. For the first company to do that, kudos to them, because they're gonna start something good, because eventually it has to be done. Eventually we should have the option to sell or trade our digital games. You have a game that I want, I have a game you want, let's trade, and I think that would be
companies have only been unwilling because they'd rather your friend just pays full price and buys it again.
Yeah,
I get it though. No, it's super consumer friendly, and it does exist on PC in very limited ways, but I don't know. Well, let me finish off this article here. It says we've experienced in hardware and software development. We are currently doing the power tree for the console's board. So they're running traces in software like CAD software and stuff, trying to design the board. Should have a functional prototype by November or before. Okay. We will show the prototype live on YouTube, or have a well-trusted influencer show you. So basically, we'll show it, or preferably we'd like to pay somebody that's got an actual following to show it off. Hey, I need a sponsorship deal.
Yeah, right.
Come show it. You know what? You'll be best if you show it on my channel. You can actually try to convince me that this is a good idea.
Yeah.
I will be fair. I will be open, and I will listen. And I will bring up concerns, and hopefully you address them. And if you can't address those concerns, well then, huzzah!
Wait,
Sure. Anyways, we'll show the prototype. The prototype will prove the console can run games. So they want to have a proof of concept that it actually plays games. Right?
Sure.
That are on different blockchains and built with different programming languages. Okay. We will not take any pre-orders or funding until we show the prototype. So yeah, they want a proof of concept before. I mean, that makes sense. There's a lot of things that hit Kickstarter and GoFundMe that don't even have a proof of concept, just an idea. Mm-hmm. So it is at least nice that they'll have, hey, we have proven that we can make this thing. So I will give them some credit that they're not looking for any funding or any backing until they can actually prove this thing is legit, able to exist. So kudos to that, at least. And I wonder if this is just like a group of like college kids.
Possibly.
Like, just thought this was a good idea,
That's definitely a possibility.
Let me see here. We will not take any pure. Okay, yep. Okay. Once we have a functional prototype, we will build the console for manufacturing. Okay. Like I don't know if the final one's gonna end up looking like this exactly. Like these are obviously just like little renders they made. I obviously feel like the final might not look like the render, but it's just a concept. I'm just opening up their Twitter account here. I'm just curious if they said anything else. Let's see. They've redesigned the logo, which that's a lot more original, anyways.
Yeah, definitely better than ripping off.
Yeah, out with the old, in with the new.
Out with the old. Yeah.
Future. Yep, there it is. There it is. We'll blow it up for you guys. There you go. So that's the new logo, which I'll say that's a lot better. People would have did the GameCube thing if this was the logo.
Right.
Anyways, new logos number 3. Read the white. Here's the thing, too. I bet you they're loving the negative attention because the negative attention is better than no attention.
I mean, you're not wrong.
All you got to do in that negative attention is just find a handful of people that think this is a good idea. So they're advertising their Discord. Here's them defending the logo. We did not copy the GameCube logo. Someone responded to that, I believe, and they showed. Hold on, let me load up both logos side by side in Paint. Did they have the original logo up? I don't think they have the original logo up here. Or basically the guy just went, okay, eyedropper, drop,
rotate.
No, didn't even rotate. Just eyedropper, grab the color, fill in the blank on the GameCube.
Oh yeah.
All right, hit eraser, erase the connecting of the G, go on to the bottom, erase line down. New logo, custom.
Yeah, right.
I used eraser twice, and I drew a line.
Yep.
With an eyedropper.
Yep.
There's the logo. It's like, come on, man. Whoever came up with the concept was clearly inspired by the GameCube. Like it's like undeniable. Mm-hmm. You're making a video game console, and your logo is that simple to just a couple eraser marks and a line drawer off of someone else's logo. I mean, that's like saying like that the McDonald's. You know what? I'm watching a new place. It's not called McDonald's though. It's called McGroogles, but the sign is still the golden arches, but the arch disconnects.
It's not. No. It's not arches. They're pointed. They're pointed M's.
Oh no.
It's just a big pointed M.
No. Because it got to have the curve. You got to have the primary design. The difference is where the M connects. It's the exact same. You can literally put them on look the same. Except the difference is I took an eraser. And at the very part where they connect in the middle, I disconnected them quick with an eraser.
Yeah.
Unique logo.
Yeah.
What?
McGroogles.
McGroogles. I don't know. It probably is a place. There probably is a restaurant or something called that.
Right.
Nothing wrong.
Is that a movie?
It might be. I have no idea. Anyways, just wanted to point out NFT console. I'm not surprised it's going to be a thing, or at least attempted to be a thing. I don't know that this one's going to be the one that takes off. So I mean, one of them's eventually going to make it to a point where it's getting funding. I don't know if it'll ever get to a point it ships to people. I don't know. I mean, I just spent this whole time explaining it. You got any thoughts, Eric? Because my brain hurts.
Yeah. No. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what it can do. I'm more than likely not
I want to see that blockchain game that's an 8K 120 FPS.
Yeah, right.
We're not even getting that on PC right now. What's the
and then also, mind you, there's not much out there that can actually run that. But,
I'm actually curious. How many blockchain games exist right now that aren't crap? Let's see here. I don't want ads. Top blockchain games according to the DAP radar here. Let's take a look at this together. We're finding out things for myself.
Thank you.
DAP radar. So Alien Worlds. You know what makes me really interested in a game?
Alien.
The moment that I go look at it, and I'm by the way, I'm trying to figure out what are blockchain games, and I'm like, what is this Alien Worlds? Then I see a balance of $1,290. That just really makes me want to think about clicking on this game right now. And if I click on this, do I have to pay $1,000 to play?
Yeah, right.
There's 207,000.
You can go down to number 4.
I mean, there we go. We're getting up into the millions now. They've lost 7%, 8% of their user base, so people are dipping out. They're cashing out.
Yeah.
They're cashing out. Like, what am I looking at?
Yeah.
Fine. Alien Worlds. What do you got for me, bud? Innovative metaverse where everything is tokenized. Hold on, let me see these screenshots.
Oh, God.
Oh, there's a trailer.
There's a trailer.
Oh, boy. Let's watch together. Oh, good. The volume's coming through for you guys as well. Let's watch it. Alien Worlds. Well, we can't hear it because I don't have my volume up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It's coming through there, so it's not really volume right now. This looks like such an amazing game, guys. We need an 8K system for this.
You show those cards.
So they're buying cards.
Yep. Tokens.
So it's a card game.
Tokens. And they're not cards, they're tokens.
I mean, I'm not surprised that it's based on a card game. You're updating your bag. You're fetching the mine. Okay. Oh, this is what is this? Planets?
Wow, look at the graphics. Open world.
Dude, these graphics are insane right now. We totally need 8K 120 FPS for this.
Mm-hmm.
What is this right now? By the way, if you're listening to the audio version, go to the Nintendo Prime Podcast channel and watch the video version of this section.
Yeah.
I'll timestamp it because this is insane.
Yeah,
this looks like one of the greatest games. Why is this not GOTY?
Yeah, I don't understand this. I mean, maybe explaining things as, we're not hearing it, but I don't.
It's GOTY.
Understand this.
It's GOTY material. Look at this. It's like a game I played back in the early 90s. Clearly, unstake, get staked, confirm your stake, type in amounts of currency. Oh no, I unstaked my stake in this fake land that uses real world money. Oh, your refund, so you can't even get the refund right away. It's pending. They got to go in and manually approve your refund. What are we watching right now?
I don't.
Now, maybe there's one that looks better than this, but I would be surprised. Hold on. What's the one that had the millions of dollars value? Axie Infinity. I'm just gonna click on it. Is there a trailer? Okay. So we're getting a little bit more information here at least. Hold on. This is by the way, this one supposedly has a value of like $600+ million per user. In-game tokens, Uniswap, and Ethereum. Okay, that's telling me a lot about this game right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is this like a modern day Qbert? Maybe. And victory. Well, I learned quite a bit. Victory Royale.
All the things.
They have 12,000 traders, 19,000 sales. Average price about $7. Market cap's 3.84 million. Volume. It's a high volume.
I don't know if it is or not.
I mean, the volume spiked recently. Huge spike. Get in now. Rip off other people now. You know what's funny? Something I heard about a lot of these NFT things, even these games, it's just rich people ripping off rich people. So it's kind of funny. I just really, if you're an average consumer and not trying to just rip people off to make a bunch of money, maybe just stay away from NFTs because you're the one that's going to get ripped off.
Probably.
The rich people are trying to get the suckers into it. They're like, whenever you hear, all this positive talk about NFTs usually come from people that are already stupidly rich and invested and want you to be the dumbass that comes in and buys the NFT from them as they laugh their way to the bank.
The only person who ends up rich is the person who created it, and everybody else just fell for it.
Basically. Yeah, it's like the people that buy that monkey picture, but they just change the hat. It's like, grab your super unique NFT right now, high value. I just traded for $10,000. Yeah, some guy traded to himself, so someone else will come in eventually and spend money. This is actually a proven scheme that people were digging into and found out that there was a lot of just people trading between themselves, so they're not actually losing any money, and they're just trying to artificially increase the value of the item, waiting for the one dumbass to come in and buy it, and then they just made all that money. They just made $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 off of someone who thinks this is an appreciating asset or an asset that's increasing in value, and then really the asset has no value. It's useless, and no one's going to buy it back from you. Oh, it's funny. Anyways.
Nuts.
Yeah.
So I think that about summarizes the thoughts on an NFT system. Mike tried to argue a possible good use that we don't need a video game console to do. We just need platforms to be really.
Yeah, it wasn't even about the NFT. It was just about transaction methods. That's it.
Yeah. It's more like it's not about profiting. Like, you're not buying a copy because here's how it works. If you buy a digital copy of Breath of the Wild, the most you can ever sell it for is what a brand new copy goes for, because people just go buy a brand new copy.
Yep.
So you're not really going to be able to profit off of what you're talking about. NFTs are all about profits.
Yeah.
You know, they sell you on anyone can make money. Well, you're not making money if you bought the game and then sold it for the same price. Like, chances are you're going to have to sell it for cheaper if you want any money back, you know, and probably significantly, because people are going to be undercutting each other trying to get the sale, you know. Or maybe everyone just universally agrees. We all buy digital copies of Breath of the Wild and sell it for 40. So you just like throwing away $20? This isn't a market you can own. It doesn't work that way. There's an unlimited amount of digital copies you can buy. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
of course, they could become profitable if and when, like, you can no longer buy them new. Example, one news I didn't cover today, the Wii and DS shops are back up. The DSi shop and the Wii shop are back up after months.
Wow.
But you can't buy new games. So in a market like that, potentially down the line, you actually could profit.
Can you imagine if Nintendo decided to put on the Santa hat this Christmas? You know, we're all little Timmies, okay? We're all little Timmies. And Nintendo decided to put the Christmas hat and say, you know what? Every game you've ever bought on the Wii and every game you ever bought on the Wii U is now yours. You can actually play it on the Switch. The Switch is now backwards compatible with that and with everything going forward. Imagine that. That would be cool.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Because how many games have you bought on the Wii U? On your Wii U?
Every exclusive. I don't know how
Every
many
exclusive game.
Yeah, I don't own any of them anymore. But
and how about digital games?
I had some. I probably had around 20-ish digital games on Wii U.
Yeah, imagine if you log into your account and you find games you own and you see those games there.
Yeah, I know. That'd be cool. I mean, it's not going to happen, but
could happen. Maybe moving forward.
Well, not from Nintendo. Maybe Xbox.
Somebody would have to start that first. And then
Yeah, it won't be Nintendo. Nintendo's not that forward.
Xbox is already doing it.
Yeah, well, kind of. They just give you Game Pass. You don't own anything then.
Yeah.
But Game Pass is also really good value, so I have no complaints about it so far. But there's gonna be a day that something I really want to play is no longer there, and it's an Xbox exclusive, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know, but for now, I'm good. Here's the thing, because Game Pass is perfect for me because I play games, then I'm done, and I'm ready for the next thing. So Game Pass is like perfect for that. So it was literally like Phil Spencer sat in a room and thought, what would best serve Nate? Here you go. Fuck yeah. Thanks for saving me money, man. I appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for episode 57 of the Nintendo Prime Podcast. I always want to thank our guest for being on here. He's basically a co-host. We'll probably be on again next week because he sent me a top secret super thing behind the scenes to have 4 people on screen at once. Oh. And I technically already have a layout to show things with 4 on screen. Although I will say, Mike, if you saw my layout, that layout needs a little work. There's a lot of dead space in that layout.
Send it my way.
And it wasn't technically built for the podcast. It was built for something else last year, and we just never used it. I don't really have a podcast specific one built. But that being said, I want to thank you guys all for tuning in. You guys should go check out, for the very last time that I will say this, Nintendo Academy on YouTube. Full rebrand change before we even get to the next podcast. So go check out Nintendo Academy.
Clarifications. We still have NintendoAcademy.com is still available for news. So if you go there, it's still going to be Nintendo Academy. So Nintendo Academy is not going away. It's just channel rebranding, YouTube.
Nice.
Oh, man. Sorry. Every time you bring up the website, I miss having a website. And I keep thinking we should collaborate on it because it would actually be updated all the time then. And then I just forget. Here's the thing. The last time I worked with anyone on a website, I got fucked over. So I'm really, not that I don't trust you, Mike, but I thought I could trust the last guy too. And that didn't work out. So I'm scared. I'm scared of working with people on a website that I don't fully control. But
it's basically everything Nintendo. So if I don't, you know how Nintendo releases, there's games that are released every single week.
Yeah.
Then you can find them on NintendoAcademy.com. I post everything there. So all the list of games. Because I go to press.nintendo.com.
I miss writing news. There's news that I won't cover. There's news I won't cover on my channel that I would totally cover on a website.
Yeah. Let me know. I can give you an internship.
You know, I have NintendoPrime.net, right? It could take me less than a day to spin my site back up. Give me an internship.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be the solo writer, but then I don't know.
Well, if you know how to make money with the website, we can team up.
Do I know how to make money with website? No, I only have 20 plus years experience.
No.
By the way, it's going to take like years to get it to the point that it makes money, but I can get it in search algorithms, and I'm good with that.
Yeah.
It takes a while, but I have places that can also get quality links, like MetroidWiki.org. I can get to link to it. Mm-hmm. I got a few other places, but anyways. Sorry, this is like right in my wheelhouse. Trust me, there's a huge chunk of my fan base that's waiting for me to be 40 years old. They're waiting for March 1st after I turn 40, which will be let me see. I just turned 36, so 4 years from now will be 2026. So they're waiting for March 1st of 2027 just for me to relaunch the #1 Zelda fan site in the world. You know what's funny is if I ever wanted to do that, I really should be working on it now. Mm-hmm. So when it comes out, it legitimately just looks like a site that's existed for decades.
Right.
My site's on WordPress.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So would mine be.
I just use the basic engine of WordPress. I don't think I paid like
WordPress
$100.
Yeah, WordPress is great. Nothing wrong with it. Powerful. Yeah, because there's an exit contract, and why I can't do a fan site right now, but I can on that exact day, and it would be hilarious if I launched and I had the best walkthroughs on the planet for every Zelda game.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Because I'd have to start it now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To make that happen, because walkthroughs take a long time to do, and to do them right.
Oh yeah.
And I can start teasing people in my Discord community, and even if the other guy comes at me, I'd be like, "Well, this isn't a public website.
It's not public, yeah.
It's a private. Everything says public. This is a private entity.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you're fucked when it launches doesn't mean whatever. Sorry, you have competition and have to step your game up that you can't step up because I privately worked on this for 5 years.
Right.
Like Academy if you want. Nintendo Academy is the right name to teach people stuff.
Sure, but I can't write Zelda walkthroughs. I can't write it on a public website.
Yep.
So
okay.
I can do Let's Plays, and I've been trying to figure out a way to turn a Breath of the Wild 2 Let's Play into just a pseudo walkthrough without calling it one. And then later I re-upload it and add the commentary necessary for it to be a walkthrough. I've been trying, and I hope that the guy who made me sign that contract's watching right now. Hey, it ain't my fault you didn't put that in the devil's in the details. Devil's in the details. I can do Let's Plays. Just because I plan to turn it into a walkthrough later. Well, all right, turn it into I'm 40 and a half. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
Well, you gotta just say, this is not a walkthrough. I'm just giving you my opinion. I feel like you should
go this way.
Yeah. You know, I'm a master at this game, but here's the problem. I got amnesia.
Yeah.
Let's try to the right. Oh, that was correct.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well, what happens if I push this block this way? Oh, look at that puzzle saw. I'm just a genius.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just giving you my opinion. I think that block there looks fishy.
Yeah, right. That rock looks like it needs to go over there.
Yeah, I wonder. Because I have stuck to this exit contract now for 6 years. I wonder what would happen if I just spawned it. Would he actually go through the trouble to try to shut me down?
Probably.
He is that kind of guy. He would probably go through.
How about we started, you're kind of the owner, bro. I'm like basically the manager.
I can't.
The name.
I can't be involved at all.
Yeah.
I can't even write Zelda. I can't even write Zelda news for a website. I can.
How about we use Eric's name as the writer?
Okay.
Write
for anything that you're talking about ghostwriting, and that technically breaks the contract. It would just be hiding it. We can't be talking about it publicly, Mike. That's the problem. We're live right now. So now
How
we can't
about
do
this
that.
conversation never happened?
This conversation never happened. We got to delete this off of YouTube.
So this
Podcast was great. Too bad it'll never show up on YouTube after this again.
No, it's all good. I'm not doing anything, guys. I mean, I could be working on something behind the scenes to launch when I'm legally able to launch it, but yeah, who knows? Who knows? It was a bad deal for me, and I could argue I got this podcast, but the funny thing was, at the time that I got this YouTube channel, we were already getting better views on the original Nintendo Prime YouTube channel. The OG channel was getting like 500, 600 views a video, and I was only getting like 200 over here. Mm-hmm. So it actually turned out to be something I really didn't need. But hey, it's all in the past. Forgotten history. Catch you guys next week on episode 58. Should have Andres Restart on along with Mike and Eric for the first 4-member podcast of the new podcast era. Mm-hmm. 50 plus episodes in, and we finally have 4.
No.
Did we do it on this new podcast before?
Yes.
When?
Back
when it was the old set against that wall?
Yes.
Yes, because we had 2 on the TV.
Yes, because we had a game over Jesse and Misclick.
The first one since I got rid of that set.
Yeah, the first one on the new set.
We had not even the old set.
Yeah, Game Over Jesse and Misclick.
Yeah.
By the way, before we go, can I do a little announcement?
Breaking news. This is what? There's always breaking news from you every week, Mike.
Yeah, right.
What is happening?
It's not really breaking news. I just got
right.
I got the confirmation date when we will be recording the podcast with the cast.
Again, breaking news.
Nice.
Breaking news.
And so you have until the end of the week, Saturday, which is still another week. This Saturday to submit a question if you want to ask any of the voice actors, and we're gonna be having Patricia Somerset, Jamie Mortellaro, Sean Chiplock. We got Joe Hernandez, Andy Gibson, and Bill Rogers. So Patricia is the voice of Zelda. We got Jamie, the voice of Sidon. We got Sean, the voice of what do you call the bird?
Rivali.
Yeah, Rivali. Yeah, Rivali, and then the other bird also. We got Joe Hernandez, the voice of the Rock guy.
Daruk.
Yeah. We have.
Don't worry, I got your back.
Daruk.
We have
Zelda
Andy,
expert over here. I got you.
Andy Gibson, the voice of Impa. Yeah,
nice.
Did you just say Simpa?
Simpa, yeah.
Are you simping for Impa?
Oh yeah.
Simping for Impa.
Simpa.
The Breath of the Wild. Simping
I'm
for
reading
Impa.
her name. It says Gibson, so I'm like,
wait. So the voice. Is that from? Is that the old Impa in Breath of the Wild, or is it the young Impa in Age of Calamity?
She voices both. She voices the old Impa, and she voices the young Impa from.
So the young Impa is the Simpa one.
Well, there we go. So that's the
Simpa.
Are you going for the young Simpa?
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Both old and young.
Old Simpa's waifu.
Yeah, there you go. Oh Lord,
this is great.
And then we got the voice of King Roam, Bill Rogers.
Nice,
Bill Rogers.
Nice.
Yeah, Bill Rogers. So Saturday is the last day.
No, that's a different.
Yeah, right.
Podcast will be airing on the last Friday of this month, which is what's the last Friday?
I don't know.
29th.
I don't have a calendar in front of me. Figure we got all these computers. It is the 29th. Yes.
Yeah, so that'll be the date that the podcast will air, Friday the 29th.
Expecting to advertise it again on the 27th. Also, by the way, that's the same day Xenoblade Chronicles 3 comes out. So now you got to choose. What are you going to do? Play Xenoblade, or are you going to watch a podcast?
Both.
Do both?
I don't know. There's fully voice acted cutscenes, like a whole movie in Xenoblade. So I don't know.
Yeah, but you can play Xenoblade anytime you want.
Yeah.
Well, it's an on-demand podcast. You can watch it anytime you want. Guys,
you want to catch it fresh just in case something happens. You want to hear from the source.
Please go over to Nintendo Academy, aka Mike Odyssey's YouTube channel. Go to his community section and submit questions for these people. I checked out his community section. You definitely could use some more questions.
Can you smell what
I thought about submitting a whole list myself, but then I feel like I'm just jacking the whole podcast because
go ahead and ask some questions. Make sure that those questions are related to Breath of the Wild 2. And you can ask any questions to the voice actors from this work or other work they've done before.
Yeah, Age of Calamity, Breath of the Wild,
Mike,
stuff like that.
Yeah. Mike, you need to ask. Can you smell what Daruk is cooking?
Yeah. So it's awesome, yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys want to go submit questions for that voice cast, go do it.
Heck yeah.
Obviously, no questions about Breath of the Wild 2 because they're not going to be able to say anything anyways. Like you can ask them the question and they'll just be like, we can't say anything. Like, well, no doubt, of course you can.
The questions. The thing is that I'm going to take the questions. The questions are going to go to the agency. The agency are going
to approve of it. Yeah.
They're going to go through the questions and then see what can go and what can't go. So it's a process until we're recording on the 20th of this month. Recording on the 20th. Then we're airing on the next week, but it's just a process before I'm
on the 20th, you might not be here.
Oh, yeah. Which is fine.
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah. It's fine.
No way. Yeah, on the Wednesday. Yeah, I'll be. It's at the same time as the podcast as well. Yeah, so I'm be putting on. Yeah.
But that's totally well. That's good for me to know, so I make sure I got somebody else on.
Yes.
But thank you. I guess I found out live.
Heck yeah. I mean,
it's okay.
Do your thing.
You
That's
don't
awesome.
understand. His last podcast was great. It got a lot of views for his channel. Like one of the biggest videos he's done in a bit, which was really awesome. This one's going to be big, and if the next one hits as well, holy.
Mm-hmm. And if the next one confirms and hits, that's going to be like a wave.
Oh yeah,
it's like a wave.
I'm gonna have
the wave. Woo!
Yeah. If the next one hits, I'll have Nate as a co-chair. But you better be good, Nate. Be good.
That's why you might not want me. I don't know if I can control myself.
No left field questions. We're on the way up the mountain.
So look, I understand that we have approved questions. Doug, can I ask you one unapproved question? Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, I got a question for you. What happens if Reggie Fils-Aimé becomes the new president of Nintendo of Japan and Shintaro Furukawa's out? What are we gonna do?
Oh Lord,
let's take sides.
Yeah,
right now. Let's take sides. Mike, you take it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Take sides right now. Let's fight about it. Fight.
But dude, if
that hits, don't have me on. I won't be able to contain myself. Don't have me on.
I mean, like when it comes to the questions, remember they're gonna be
I know they're gonna be. They're gonna be pre-approved. I'm just gonna sit there and smile. I'm not gonna even say anything.
No, the thing is that
you have a card, co-chair.
You'll have a card with some questions. I'll have a card with some questions, and that's it. And then we'll have follow-up questions to that because we're allowed follow-up questions to that one. And then that's it. That's it, Mo. If we are good and successful in that one, then once we're up the hill.
My problem is, you tell me follow-up questions. I'm going to start creating leading questions that are going to get him to never want to talk to me again.
Dude, the thing is that by the first question that is off topic and off the approved question, that they walk. That's it. It's like trying to catch a rare Pokemon.
Yeah.
like a.
You better keep that master ball in hand.
They walk, and that never happens again. Well, good thing I recorded that clip. I'm going to throw it up. So-and-so has walked off when asked the hard-breaking question. They just walked out of the interview, and that's why my 5 seconds of fame. Now I no longer get copies of games from Nintendo. I wanted to go to E3. Badge is canceled.
Yeah.
Channel's blackballed. I get copyright claimed on the channel. Man, I better rebrand my channel before this happens.
It's called Prime.
It's all done. It's all done. Shipping. Prime shipping. No. I know how to behave. It's all cool. I can stick to a script. I've done professional interviews and stuff in the past. It's just been a while. All right.
Yeah. So that's all, man. It depends. Everything is a what do you call it? Like you call it.
Everyone watching's like, who is it? Is it Bill Trinan? Is it?
Yes.
Is it Bob's your uncle? Things aren't confirmed yet.
I can't say anything until. I mean, the good thing is that we are in talks. There's communication, which is.
It hasn't stopped. It's not like it was like, oh, we talked once and then that's it. Like, no, there's ongoing conversations. Like
the only reason I'm bringing it up is because there's communication. If there's no communication whatsoever, plus we're being ignored.
Dude, I'm telling you, this podcast is the problem. I find, and I might not even be a problem. Is his podcast, guys, is so much better than anything I've ever created.
Nah, this
no. This is take the compliment like a man.
Yeah, right.
Okay, take it. that he is setting his podcast at levels no other YouTuber can match. I am so honored to even be talking to this man on this podcast right now because of what he's able to do. I don't know how, I don't know why. I just know that he is basically a god, and the rest of the internet hasn't figured it out yet.
No, not yet.
They haven't figured it out yet. It's going to happen, though. That last podcast and the views it got, it's starting to put you on the map. This next one's going to be even bigger. And if that third one hits the way that I know you hope it does, it's going to be even bigger. So it's nothing but up. Nothing but up.
Yeah, man, the goal is to make
grab onto his cape, his Super Mario World cape, and fly. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
I'm trying to grab onto the shoelaces as he buzzes by, hoping that I get drug on the ground a little bit to get a modicum. He's about to do, just with the Mario voice actors alone, he's already talked to more people that have worked for Nintendo than I've talked to in my entire life. After this podcast that he's about to do, he will officially talk to my dream team, people that worked on Zelda. And I've been covering Zelda for 30 years, and this man just pops up a couple of years ago and goes, "Yeah, cool. Hey, you guys want to come on my podcast? Yeah, sweet. Hey,
submit a question.
Yeah.
Have you heard?
Would you come on my podcast?
Have you heard of Nintendo Prime Podcast?
Would you come on my podcast?
Watch it.
Yeah. Would you come on my podcast? Yeah.
But I can try to set it up.
It's okay. If I was trying to set it up, I'd probably no. I don't know. I don't want to say anything right now. We'll see what happens because I would like to get some bigger guys. The problem is for me is you're cool with having the pre-selected questions, the pre this, the pre that, and that's totally understandable. Agencies and everyone's wanting to be controlled and everything. But I'm such an off the cusp sort of podcast. I don't really want to change that when I have a guest on. So like that's the hard difference. And one thing I like about because Game Over Jesse, he's had all these voice actors on his channel. And at first it was very official. And then after that, he could just talk to them individually and just have them come on. And he just knows in the back of his mind, he'll have Cat Bergerson will bring up some more Breath of the Wild 2, and then Jesse goes, he can't say anything. And then they just laugh because now they have an ongoing relationship where it's they know things will be brought up, but they can't say anything. But that's more of an understanding because their reputation was built up. Yeah.
Exactly. That's where we are now. We're trying to climb. We're going to climb and get there, and then get these relationships going, so that when later on we can ask a tougher question.
My reputation is Nate's an asshole. He might drink some tequila, and you better come prepared because he's going to go at you hard, and you're going to hang up. So, and this is why I can't get certain YouTubers to come on. They don't want to handle the hard hitting questions like, "Man, what's your favorite? Give me your dream Donkey Kong game." This is such a hard hitting topic. I don't.
It is.
Anyways,
yeah. Dude, all you got to do is just set the bar. Then by the third visit, it's like when you go on a date, you have to sweet talk. Second date, a little more. Third date, a little more. Fourth date, a little more.
That's not what I do. That's not what I do.
They get married.
No. My dating advice has always been make them chase you.
Yeah,
you don't chase them. Hasn't worked in this career field, but it worked in my relationship field. So.
Okay.
But then again, you have to meet them first. There is an initial meeting they have to be aware that you exist or it doesn't work. But once I make them aware that they just see how fun I am, and then they just trickle along. I swear, if I ever met one of these voice actors in real life, just chilling. Oh, you guys are out at some social event, and I just happen to. Oh man, I'm a big fan. I run this. Oh, cool. Yeah, all right. Well, nice talking to you. And they'll be like. That's a big fan who runs a YouTube channel. And then they're gonna be curious about why was that so short and brief? If he was talking all casually, but it acts like it wasn't a big deal. Let me look him up. All right, well, let me go watch some of his stuff and all. Oh, let me hit up his business email, dude. That's how it works. I'm gonna treat you like you're a normal damn person, and I'm walking away. And I'm walking away, and you're gonna be like, I don't what, really? And that's what gets him. It hooks him. Because I wasn't attempting to do anything. I'm not asking you, not autographs, no nothing. Just Dude,
I'm with-
you
I'm
did
with-
good
I'm-
work
I'm
on
with-
this. Cool.
I gotta go with Eric Winstead. He says yada yada.
Yada yada yada. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. You can catch our podcast on the on demand at the Nintendo Prime Podcast channel. You can get it on the audio version pretty much everywhere. Just look up Nintendo Prime Podcast. I also would absolutely love if you guys would go on like Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and actually give us a review. If it's a 1-star review, well,
Fuck you.
he took the words out of my mouth.
Just kidding.
But don't just leave like a star rating. I would appreciate if you would write some feedback as well. Honest feedback. Do you really love the show? Do you think it's not very we haven't had new reviews of this podcast in forever. So all the reviews that are out there are before we even rebooted the podcast. So I would like to get some fresh reviews in there to let new potential viewers that come across this, because I find that I actually do this when I'm looking up a new topic related podcast on like Apple Podcasts. First thing I do is I see, okay, who's the host? Don't know much about them. Let me check the reviews on this podcast. So it is a tool that new listeners use to figure out who they want to listen to. We're not going to reach a new audience if we don't start having more modern reviews, because they see reviews and all of them are years and years ago. They're going to think we don't have an audience and nobody listens.
Yeah, make sure that when you are in the podcast, you actually select follow. That way you get notified when the podcast goes up.
And they might actually be better at sending out notifications than YouTube.
I can tell you Apple Podcasts is much better at it than YouTube is.
Yeah.
I can tell you that. I get every notification for every podcast I follow on Apple Podcasts. And I'm sure that's the same for all the other podcast apps out there as well.
Yeah.
I've used a few of them when I was on Android. So
yeah, if you want to also do the same thing for Name Topic, just type Name Topics.
Heck yeah.
And then
look at that cross promotion.
Heck yeah. Do it.
Go check out Mike Odyssey and go watch their last Nintopics podcast featuring all the voice actors, not all of them, but a lot of them from the Mario franchise. Go check it out.
Not gonna lie, Mike, that is a fantastic name for a podcast.
Yeah, man. One of my subscribers chose it.
Nice.
I did like a poll, and that's the one they won.
Yeah, it's a great name.
But this is
I already registered it. Registered.com did and everything right away.
There you go. Yeah, right.
I'm so original.
Yeah, right.
I stole Prime from Amazon, put Nintendo in front, and then I'm like, you know what? Let's do a podcast.
Let's do a podcast.
Nintendo
Let's
Prime podcast.
slap podcast
It doesn't
at the
need
end of
its
it.
own branding.
Right,
It's
right.
just
Yeah.
I'm so original, guys. Oh man, what did I do? Oh man, I got this news thing that I want to do. I needed a show name. You know what? Let's just call it Prime News.
Hey, why not?
I actually was originally called Nintendo Prime News, but it was too long to fit in most titles, so I had to cut off the.
Wow, look,
Right.
So let's see here. I just typed Prime Podcast on Google. Let's see what shows up.
Probably not me.
Philly Prime. You showed up. Nintendo Prime Podcast, Prime Video Podcast, Amazon Prime Podcast.
I showed up before Amazon. I like it.
I think you showed up at the same time, because what they do is they put podcast series and then put a whole bunch of
Shit,
podcasts
it is.
within
It is there.
Yeah, it's there.
You just typed Prime Podcast
Yeah.
on Google? What?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Holy shit.
This is breaking news. I've never actually looked up my podcast. It's lower for me, but I am
Still, you're in the top.
I'm ahead of Beer Prime. I'll take that. I'll take that. I'm ahead of Beer Prime. This is from Amazon. Wait, am I even on the Amazon Music? I don't even know if I'm published on Amazon Music Podcast. Am I? I have to download the app for it. I can't do it through a computer. That's fine.
I think I have to go. Should I? Do people listen to Amazon podcast thingy there? Is that a thing? Because I'm only on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts, and I think that's enough.
Well, what you should be doing is using a website like I use. You don't have to use the exact one. I use Anchor.fm. It's free, and they'll just publish you everywhere.
Anchor FM.
Anchor.fm. Yeah, I publish there, and then they got stats and stuff. Let me look at my stats and see where people are listening from.
Okay, we could probably end this Wisconsin goodbye and actually end this podcast.
No, it's Wisconsin goodbye. This is how we do it.
Yeah.
Audience. So I can see my platforms. So Apple Podcasts is 50% of my listeners. Then Spotify, then Podcast Addict, and then Podcast Cast.
Pocket Cast.
However, one thing they don't have is that 23% come from other, which could be everything else. See what devices it says. Well, obviously iPhone, then Android, Windows. So people are listening. Yeah. Okay. So I wonder if I export the thing, if it'll tell me if it'll break down the other or not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just exporting the stats. I just want to look at it quick and see if it explains the other category in the next one. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Okay. Well, either way, someone's using it. I mean, Apple Podcasts is clearly number one. Spotify is number two. That's understandable. But yeah, I mean, people are using all those other apps as well. It's kind of whatever's convenient for them. Like if you have an Amazon Alexa, maybe you're using Amazon Podcast to listen to podcasts through your Alexa. So. Anyways, all right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week for episode 58. And then Mike will miss his first episode in a long time.
On the 20th.
On the 20th.
Yep.
Because he's doing more important things.
No, he is.
He really is.
No, he really is.
Legitimately. All right, guys, catch you later.